All right. And we're live. And we're live.
God, I've never done this before.
We're not.
I feel like Joe Rogan already. Maybe I should.
I guess we're live on Instagram, but we're not live on.
We're not live on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah, just on
Good.
Instagram.
We can kind of selectively upload to YouTube, right?
Yeah,
If I say something super offensive, it's gonna only be on Instagram.
Yeah, but we'll upload it anyways. So.
Well, what?
We'll just upload it anyways.
Oh, okay.
Too much effort to edit.
Only the best of friends.
It's just way too much effort to edit.
So.
I'll be on good behavior then.
I feel like if anybody's gonna get fired for what they say on this show, it's gonna be me. So.
Really? You feel like your employers are kind of in the know on YouTube, huh?
No, I just think I'm the first one to cross every line. More often than not, like constantly at work, even my coworkers are just like, Jesus Christ.
So you're saying, okay.
Jesus Christ, Garrett.
So all I have to do is kind of lead you in the wrong direction, and you'll go for it.
Yeah. And I'll just be like, I can take this further.
Take the
wait,
bait.
no.
This is gonna be hilarious.
All right, real quick introduction. We are with our friend Tyler Hervey. We're old friends. We're Gohyang Chingu, back from LA.
Whatever that means.
That means hometown friends.
Good,
Hometown friends.
This is gonna be a unique episode because Gavin's cigar is
absurd.
I've never seen a cigar put off so much smoke.
I smoke at the MX2.
It just is smoking
Something
like.
wrong there. It's gonna be very inconvenient for me to grab that cigar.
Oh yeah.
So
Here, I push it. Normally, it's not
I
that.
feel you though, because I'm downwind here.
Yeah,
It's
Gavin,
like goddamn forest fire.
Gavin
over
needs to
here.
get his own ashtray. It's just his cigar. Like normally, a cigar puts like when you're not smoking
Quarantine
it.
that shit.
When you're not smoking a cigar, normally very little smoke comes off it. It's not that big of a deal. His cigar is like somebody smoking it constantly, even when it's just sitting still.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if that window's mosquito. This is gonna be an interesting episode.
I'm gonna close this. All right.
And then Tyler dropped
I'm just gonna go.
tobacco when he cut his cigar into my whiskey. So first, it's fine if it's tobacco flakes, but I thought it was bugs. I looked inside. I'm like, oh my god. Okay, it's just tobacco.
One recurring theme of this episode is gonna be how novice I am when it comes to smoking cigars, for sure.
Well, we're not
So,
going to even be talking about smoking cigars.
It didn't start out on a good note when the cap flew into your whiskey, but you know.
What can you do?
He got good distance on cutting it and went straight over the ashtray into my whiskey, but you know.
So, this is Tyler's second time in Korea. First time in Korea without the girlfriend. Are you excited?
You're
I was
already
excited
putting him in a bad territory.
I was excited both times. Both times for sure.
Okay.
Try to lean a little closer when you talk.
It's okay, yeah. So
I'll put you like that.
I'd asked that earlier about the mic situation,
Sorry.
but cool.
Yeah, you know, I'm sorry. It's my fault.
All right, we're good. No apology needed. Yeah. So last time we had a really good time. I think it was a different vibe. You know, when you have the girlfriends around, you got to plan the couple stuff.
Yeah.
So we did some couple stuff last time, and we tried to, blend the bro stuff into the couple activities. But you gotta balance it out, right? But this time it's full bro mode. So I'm very happy about that. Unrelented,
unfiltered, broed out.
Unfiltered broness. So that's cool.
Well, I'd also like to show you like a lot of cool shit about Korea that you didn't get to see last time. Because also last time you were only here like for 2 days. You know what I mean? Only like one night or 2 nights.
I think it was 2 nights.
I think it was 2 nights. Yeah, it was 2 nights. This time it's 3 nights.
3 nights. Okay.
3 nights. Yeah. But yeah. So we got a lot of shit to do. We got to go to Jimjibang. We got to go to the park.
What he's really saying is, I got to see you naked. That's what he's really saying.
Jimjibang is a Korean bathhouse.
I don't think it would be the first time. Right?
No, I mean they have that in China, I'm sure, right?
I think they do, but I also think you've seen me naked. So
yeah, we did that.
I don't know what you were referring to.
I think I've seen you naked.
You haven't seen me naked in China.
Yeah. I haven't seen you naked in Asia, and it's also been a while, and I kind of miss you, bro.
Okay, well I put on a little bit of weight in the mid region, but
all right,
whatever.
Right.
My triple's gone up a little bit.
Your triple?
My triple. That's your bench, your deadlift, and your squat.
Bench, deadlift, squat.
Bench, deadlift, squat.
It's gone up, huh? Because I remember like 7 years ago, you did 300. That impressed the fuck out of me.
No, that's the thing. I've never exceeded my bench. Like, okay, so I was thinking about this today. At 20, putting up 315 at like 175 pounds was pretty damn good.
That's epic.
And I haven't passed 315 cents. I can shoot for it, but it's like
you just gotta get closer when you talk.
okay.
I want
people to be able to hear me. You know what we're gonna do? Sorry, people. You know, move the mic, and then if I can just lean on the table like a fat ass, I can't support my own weight.
Do it. Yeah.
Get lazy with it. Get nice and comfortable.
I do this, and then when it's time to talk, I go like this. But also, if anybody's gonna get turned green and puke, it's gonna be me because Gavin's cigar is just going straight in my.
I'm just gonna hold it. I'll hold it.
I have faith in you. I think I'm gonna turn green pretty quickly.
Okay, so I want to bang out. I want to list the things that I would like to do this weekend. So we need to go to the Han River, which is something you didn't do last time. Okay. But the Han River is very, for anyone who's never been to Seoul, the Han River is like super unique to Seoul. It's a humongous river that goes right through the middle of Seoul. And the great thing about it is they got all these parks along the river.
We're south of that river right now, yeah?
Yeah, we're south of the river right now. They have parks all along the river and like little pit stops and little workout areas. And then all along the river on both sides, there's a bike path, and it's like a really, really nice bike path. And so it's really popular in Korea as like a hobby and also, like a sport is just cycling. And people just cycle all through the city, and you get like an amazing kind of view. It's like a really cool bike path because it's like you're going through these beautiful parks, and then you're going like underneath highways, like an industrial thing, and then you have this view of the river. And you've got these like buildings to look at, and it's always changing because you're going through the middle of the city.
We could rent bikes and go bike to the park.
Yeah, we could rent bikes, we could ride on one side of the river and then cross a big bridge and then go back and return the bikes, and we could take pit stops and drink beer, smoke cigars along the way. It's amazing, especially since the weather is so great right now.
The
it's
weather
super
in Seoul
fun
right now is amazing. Weather in the world does not get much better than this.
Yeah,
I must say.
Unfortunately, it's like it was not like this at all summer long.
Sure.
It was rainy and miserable. It wasn't miserable, but it was rainy and humid and hot all summer.
That's kind of Asian summer, right?
But I've been here.
This is north, so you'd think there'd be less rain.
This is my 4th summer here. Yeah, maybe 3rd. I can't remember. But by far, this was the rainiest and the most humid by far.
My eyes are getting killed. This is gonna be fun.
Okay.
This podcast's gonna get cut short. I'm gonna start crying. I'm
gonna bring here. You guys keep chatting. I'm gonna bring the fan closer.
That would totally help. Yeah,
but it's just gonna blow it into this corner.
Anyway, so we need.
Payback's a bitch.
So we need to do that, and we could do that tomorrow. We could do that Sunday. We also need to go to the Military Memorial Museum, the Korean War Memorial Museum. Okay. Fucking awesome, free, and it's got an amazing. It's 3 levels. I remember we talked about this.
You recommended this to me last time. Yeah. I think we wanted to go on a Monday.
It's closed. Yeah, it was closed. Yeah. So we need to do that. You can walk there from my house too, and it's fucking dope. So we need to go there. And since you're a history major, I'm a history major. To me, the most interesting part is the bottom level, which is
the most interesting part of being a history major is finding a job afterwards.
That too. But the most interesting part of the museum is, I think, the bottom level. Fucking some bitch said that to me. It's like she was like, oh, where'd you go to university? I was like, UCF. She's like, oh, that's a good school. And then she's like, what was your major? I was like, history. So then she was like, so that's why you're here.
Like work. So that's why you're here.
She was like, so that's why you're here. And I was like, this is the first meeting with her. Like that was the first impression. I was like, bitch.
I mean, that's.
And then I was like, "What's your major?" And she was like, "Biology." And I was like, well, "What the fuck are you doing here then?" Because it's awesome.
I would say this. I was told to go to college. My parents absolutely wanted me to go to college. I don't think they necessarily knew what that meant. They just thought like college is good, period. And I think they were right to some extent. And I did college because I needed to get the paper. So I did what major I felt like doing, and I wasn't really, I felt like I wasn't willing to sacrifice. This is going to be a recurring theme. I wasn't willing to
really push.
I don't really get into a major that was going to find me a job. I didn't do college because I wasn't thinking about my career afterwards when I did college.
Or you also didn't know specifically what career you wanted yet.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That's absolutely. It was more of a period of exploration.
Yeah.
As opposed to I'm doing biology so that I can become a doctor.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't. It was. I don't know what I want to do, but I definitely need to get a degree while I'm trying to figure it out. I think that's how it was.
Yeah. And I would say, like, both of you were history majors, and if I didn't know that I wanted to do something specific in design and art, I would have done history too, because that's my second
History,
favorite
poli
interest.
sci. Yeah, there's a few. Even economics. Economics isn't necessarily some, fantastic major that's going to get you a job. I have a lot of friends. I have one friend that graduated from Carnegie Mellon with a degree in economics, double major economics and Chinese, and she was in the same boat that history majors in. She says, you know what? It is economics. There are some technical skills that we acquire, but none of it's really related to any particular career or job. And what I'm considered a humanities major, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. What if fucking I sit there, Tyler sits here, and you put your fuck ass cigar over here?
Okay, we can switch.
He called your cigar a fuck ass.
Yeah, it's actually a really good cigar. I'm smoking the CAO MX2.
Killing all of us.
boss. I'm a
MX2
CAO.
stands for double Maduro, because fucking one Maduro.
It is a good
ain't
cigar. I have had it before. Let's just switch seats.
Okay, for those of us that are novices, what is a double Maduro?
It's 2 Maduro wrappers. Maduro
So it has 2 wrappers on it. What is the point of 2 wrappers? It's gonna change the flavor profile.
They used a Maduro. Well, let me sit down and talk to the microphone.
The wrapper to filling
I'll tell you, what is it? The wrapper
ratio.
The wrapper
you always
usually.
have 2. You have a binder and a wrapper. They just use 2 wrappers instead of a binder and a wrapper.
That's
don't always
so
have
much
2
better
wrappers.
over here. It's so much
So much
fucking
better?
better. Yeah.
It's very shufu. My favorite word in Chinese is shufu.
What
If
is that?
anyone wants to learn some Chinese, shufu means comfortable.
My favorite
Like,
word.
shufu.
Garrett, can you have my cup? My favorite word in Korean is goyangi, which means cat.
I just learned that one. I think my favorite Korean word is huchu,
Huchu.
which
That
means
sounds like a sneeze.
it's and guess what it means?
What?
Pepper.
That's what makes you sneeze.
Huchu.
Huchu.
Very interesting. This is delicious.
Gochu means pepper.
The greatest thing I learned about cigars recently, which is probably the most important thing, is the temperature of the cigar. And not being too eager and not getting your cigar too hot so that you're charring all the flavor and shit out of the cigar.
Yeah.
I think that is like, if there's one tip of advice you can give to someone besides don't breathe the smoke into your fucking
Yeah,
lungs,
don't inhale it.
besides that, if that's a given, meaning like
Duh.
you're not a moron,
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 puff a minute or whatever they say, just keep it cool and don't ash it.
Cool
Those are
smoke.
that's like, oh, okay. I wish I
Did
knew
you learn that from our video?
that. Yes.
Wait, you're not a subscriber, motherfucker.
Because we iterated
Sticks
that
and
point.
stories,
Yeah.
bro.
Fuck, it's my number
Sticks
one
and stories.
go-to.
That's good. No,
Yeah.
I like that you guys are doing this. It's very cool. My first podcast.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is your
First
first
podcast.
Yeah.
So-
never done podcasting before.
So
super
also
chill.
more backstory.
I like talking.
More backstory on Tyler. What is it? Gavin and I met Tyler in a philosophy class because we were arguing 2 different points, and I was just like, "Who's this guy I'm arguing with?" Like it was like the first debate of the class, and my first debate ever in a classroom setting, and I found myself arguing against this guy Tyler.
He lost.
It's debatable.
You're a sophist. You're arguing for the sophist.
Was I sophist? What were you? Were you a stoic?
I was a
just
philosopher.
You were just playing devil's advocate. You're like, I'm gonna go for sophist because everybody's gonna go for the philosopher.
Yeah. You had way less people on
You're
your
like, I want to be a
side.
devil's advocate.
I gave you props because there's way less people on your side, and you were the only one that wasn't a complete moron. Like there's a couple other guys on that side that were just like arguing the dumbest points that made no sense, like at all. And then you actually were like, all right, I'm gonna stick to like this kind of like more obviously incorrect persona. And then I was just like, I feel like he's just doing it for devil's advocate. Like,
Yeah, you said sex.
Yeah.
You're saying philosophers don't want to have sex.
you were saying like how I'd rather have a Ferrari and a great job and make a bunch of money than fucking be poor and just do something. So, and I was just like, I'm like, all right, but you were making better points than that, and you were at least like hashing out some issues. And I was just like, okay, at least I have someone to talk to, like But then afterwards, I was just thinking, I was just like, all right, well, that guy at least is like confident enough to put up an opinion, a controversial opinion, and then afterwards you're just like, hey man, you want to get a beer? And I'm just like, fuck yeah. Like
we were like 20 at the time. Like,
we
weren't
were
allowed to-
super young.
I don't think I was allowed to drink beer then. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember that we were so young and dumb when we first met. Like I remember when we were so dumb.
Hey, speak for yourself, bro.
No, like the first conversation I had with you about drinking is you were like,
Do you drink Miller or Coors?
no, dude, this is what you said. I remember even then I was just like, that sounded weird. The way you said it. Like I remember we were talking about drinking beer. I was like, do you like beer? And you're like, dude, like I could drink like so many beers. Like I could just like, dude, I could like crush
I feel like I'm being
so many
misquoted.
beers.
I feel
No,
feel
dude, that's what
like
you said.
I'm being misquoted.
You were like, dude, I could like drink like so many beers. I was like, all right. I mean, I'm sure I said
I'm
and
out.
acted like a bunch of dumb. I'm sure I
that's
said
not
a
good.
bunch
I
of
would
dumb
ash
shit.
it before you relight.
Yeah, I wanted
Oh, is your-
I wanted to avoid it going
Yeah.
out. That's a no.
Yeah,
It's
all right.
And then I remember,
Do I use this one?
Yeah,
or the
that
other
one's
This
fine.
is fine.
it's a torch.
I remember there
Oh,
was a
cool.
really, yeah, there you go. There was a really girl. There was a girl with like really gorgeous hair, and I remember that was like one of the first girls that I was like, man, that girl's hair is phenomenal.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she had
that
curly
class.
hair.
That class was so influential on my personality.
It had a lot of character.
Yeah.
That class had a lot of character. Like
yeah.
there was random fucking people in there. There was like the one dude who would just like play the Joker card all the time. You'd be like being some
rapper?
You'd be in some philosophical debate, and all of a sudden he goes, "My dad is blind," and you're like. Dude, we have an assignment here. Like we're supposed to be challenging each other, and like you just got super personal with that just now. Like,
Are you talking about the rapper guy?
Yeah.
I think that,
He was the
That guy was
he
a
was the
clown.
class clown.
but I remember.
But not in a good
you
way.
can't, you
Not in a
can't
good
call
way.
him the class clown. Like I don't know, but yeah, he would go like Hail Mary. Like he'd be in the middle of a debate and his team would be losing, and he would like just like bring up something you could not debate with.
But that
class,
class,
he wins.
But that class wasn't a debate class. Like, all right, you have to argue your point, like to try to win. It was like this: you're arguing those points because that's how you think. Like that's what it was supposed to be like. You're on that team because you think that way. And I remember that guy saying silly things like Socrates shouldn't have drank the hemlock because he needed to be around to fucking take care of his kids, bro. I'm just like, he was like 80 and his kids are probably fully grown.
There's clearly like some personal shit like being regurgitated into the debate.
Yeah, and
It's
he
like,
was-
Socrates should have
Yeah,
cared.
he also he
You're
literally
like, fuck.
he literally
Fuck you,
said
Dad.
it.
I mean, Socrates.
Yeah, he literally said it with emotion. He's like, "You should have been there for his kids," you know. And I'm
No,
just like,
he was the
what?
most Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, what?
I remember where like everyone would be on this, like where they're like, taking this kind of third party objective stance. And like debates get heated, but then there'd just be someone that would step in and just take it to another level of
Yeah, they just take it in.
it was just like way too much emotion. Like, there's something going on here.
Well, what I remember about that class was I remember so much about that class because that class was insane. If I was in college for like 7 fucking years, if you add it all up.
You don't have to
Yeah,
state that.
yeah.
dude.
Well, it's just true. I went to 3 different colleges.
Just wash it
Yeah.
under the rug.
Yeah.
You could just.
I went to 3 different colleges, thank you, and I studied a ton of different things. But that class, by far, I think is the most influential of all the classes I ever took. Was that class? And I made one of my all-time best
This is what
friends.
happens when you go into theater.
He looks back on the good old days.
It's
at
like
SMC.
that class was useful.
It wasn't useful. It just got me alienated from a bunch of liberal
It
groups.
got you thinking though, right?
Yeah, I got you thinking. Yeah. I was gonna you guys totally took it to like a productive place. I was just gonna keep it in the joke because I remember that girl with the gorgeous hair. I'm like, God damn, that girl has like such gorgeous hair.
Now, blonde, kind of dirty blonde.
Yeah, it was curly. It was really curly. She had a
Greek?
full hair.
She was a photographer.
I don't
major.
remember,
She was a
but-
photography major. I
But
remember.
I remember what you said. It just totally threw me off. It was like I was like, God, that girl's gorgeous. Her hair is gorgeous, and you were like, Yeah, dude, she's a freak. And I was just like, what do you mean, like she's a freak? Like, and you're like, dude, she's a freak. Like, and I was like, how do you know? Did you like sleep with her? And you were like, no, I didn't. Like, it was you're not getting the joke.
I don't remember any of these interactions.
Like, I just thought it was so funny. You're like, dude, yeah, she's a freak. It's just like, wait, how do you know she's a freak? And like, what does that even mean? Because I've only had sex with like one chick. Like back then it was like, sex is sex. I didn't know like
We're all
girls
just
are
guessing,
freaks and
yeah.
some girls are freaks
Yeah.
and some girls are just normal.
I have
So
no
I was
idea.
just so confused by that statement. I was like, what?
Oh, I guess maybe I just got some vibes that she
Yeah, you're like,
she was
nah,
a bit of
dude.
a freak.
No, you're like, but you didn't say no, I could just tell. You were just like, no, I didn't sleep with her, but like, and
Sometimes you just know. I have to say, there are very few times where I regret going with my gut.
you could have been absolutely right, but none of us slept
know.
with her. Yeah.
None of us
I
know
will say
that you guys know.
Yeah. Well, I will say though that class, like one negative thing about that class is it framed my opinion of what all kind of discussion should be like. It should be like, all right, like I give a logical point and you try to pick my logical point apart, and then I reiterate on why I think this way, and you reiterate why you think that way, and like the teachers and the other students, like they should try to stay objective about it and not just like trolled
Not-
situation.
The teacher shouldn't pick sides.
Yeah, the teacher definitely shouldn't
Wow.
pick sides.
Yeah.
Like that's how I learned.
Amber.
Amber,
The teacher, is that her?
Yeah.
Amber was the first name.
Well, I
she
learned.
was so cool.
She was great, yeah, and she totally disagreed with most of the shit I said, but she was
Yeah.
always super respectful of other people's opinions. and shit.
Garrett only had one.
I was such a troll. I
Garrett
was such
only
a
had
shithole back
one
then.
thing to say
Yeah.
the entire class. People are stupid. I'm smart.
I remember I had a really
He
good
just
friend.
said it over and over
I had a really
again.
good
It's just
I
a
did
million,
say that a couple
He said a
times.
million different types of ways. Like, listen, like you think I only have one thing to say, but actually I have some nuanced perspectives that basically the same point. Everybody's dumb
You
as
guys
shit.
were famous in that class, or I should say infamous. Like
Yeah.
everyone knew, like, oh, the fucking twins.
I think it was mostly
You know.
Garrett because
It's
Garrett
probably me.
Was it?
Yeah. Well,
'Cause, so how do you get sick of him, like, like
sometimes
defiling your name?
I mean,
You know,
like,
like you get automatically get grouped together.
yeah, we do get grouped together. It's annoying.
So
It
like
is
Garrett
annoying.
does something, like loud and obnoxious, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, and I do get-
And
I
then
do
it's like
get it.
Garrett and Gavin are loud, and you're like, what the fuck?
No, I do have been like Garrett, like shut up because you're making me look bad. Even though like
Sure.
we're different people, but I know they're judging both of us.
Yeah.
You know what I
For
mean?
sure. Well, who's older?
I am
He
by
is
1
by
minute,
1
but anyways, but the problem is I took
It matters.
I took that attitude from, and I'm thinking like, oh, dude, like college is so sophisticated in like being able to talk about different people's perspectives and ideas, and I took that to fucking UCLA, and UCLA is a way better
And you got
school.
annihilated.
And it wasn't so much that I got annihilated; it was more like
Right.
I just got ganged up on and trolled.
Well, I
You know
shouldn't
what I
say
mean?
I shouldn't say that you got annihilated. It's oversimplistic. It's
Yeah.
that you weren't even given a platform.
Oh no, I was
It wasn't-
shot.
You weren't even given. hell
Yeah. I was
You
shot
weren't even given
down
a platform
by
to be yourself and express your ideas, and that's really unfortunate.
It wasn't even like it was that and then more. It was like everyone saying really ridiculous things and asking you to participate in a discussion, and then my participation is being like, well, I think this, and then they take it to you're a fucking homophobe and you're the reason why there's problems in the world and you need to shut the fuck up. Like the teacher would throw me in a Jesus Christ.
Chaim!
It slid out of my hand.
Jesus.
Got sprayed.
Even the teachers at UCLA, Jesus, what's going on?
You got Popo on the
Yeah,
block.
Popo's
By the way,
on the
we're
block.
Popo on the block.
Tyler was generous enough to get us Glenfiddich, the good stuff.
It's the least I can do. Glenfiddich, my friend. Fiddich.
That's what I said, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, never since that class have I had more like more constructive discussions and disagreements. Like when I got to UCLA, it was an echo chamber of everybody that was hyper liberal, and if you said anything that disagreed with them, it was just like you need to sit
You
down.
must be loving these Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson
Dude,
podcasts then, where they're really all about,
bringing up points.
they're
Yeah.
all about protecting a forum where two people that don't agree can freely express their thoughts.
Yeah,
in a
without-
peaceful, in a peaceful, constructive manner.
Exactly. And that dude, and like I feel like especially Gavin, Gavin was a history major, which is not it's a great major, but it's not in the social sciences. You know what I mean? Like whereas
It's in the humanities. Is that the same shit?
it's not really the same. You don't get the
What
same
is the difference
kind of
between a
liberal.
humanity and a social
Yeah,
science?
Social.
I thought they were.
I
in the
thought they were
same-
almost synonyms.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying. I don't know the exact vocabulary to describe this, but it's not like the same kind of people. Like this, when I think of the liberals that are in the degrees
Bro,
I'm
you were
talking
in
about,
the arts.
It's not just
You
the
were
arts.
straight up in the arts.
It's also like the political science is. It's also in the like the journalism. It's also in the women's studies. It's also it's in a whole branch of education that that somehow you kind of dodged. I feel like in the history majors.
I
Like
don't
you,
know.
like I would talk about liberals, and you'd be like, I don't
That
know what
is-
you're talking about, and then I'm like, no, you don't get, and you're always like, why the fuck are you so angry? And then you hear what Gav, well, you a little bit too, but you've always
both-
been a little bit more liberal
But,
than I
like,
have been.
the thing is,
You a little bit, yeah.
like, I don't mind if you talking about this, but I just don't like getting negative, raising our voices and yelling in each
Well,
other's faces.
but
Like,
you
I don't. I like having
I
a
get it, I get
discussion.
it.
I don't like it getting
Hold on,
louder
you don't
and
like
louder.
that?
Weird, I know, right? Like,
But the point is, you see
yeah.
Jordan Peterson and them talking about and why they get so like why this is such a big deal to them. And I see it as I've been seeing it for years and years as being like, no, what we're losing is our ability to get a real education, and we're
Well,
having a
and
whole generation
as professors,
getting
they're losing
terrible.
their ability to do work as well, right?
Yeah,
There's that
yeah.
guy Brett Stevenson is another guy they brought into the equation.
From
and it was like
from Evergreen, yeah.
Evergreen Community College, and they were the
Is it a community?
The students is community, or it's I think it's a 2-year school.
I think it's a 4-year.
They talk about transfers a
I don't
lot, so
know.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe they have a 4-year program.
Yeah, I thought
but
it was a 4-year
I went to
school.
their website and I saw that they were clearly pushing their transfer program. So don't know exactly what kind of school it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
But lots of warriors. Lots of warriors.
Yeah.
Justice Wars.
Justice Wars.
But yeah, the reason why I've been, well, it's like my point is like I'm like Gavin, like you're always getting mad at me for being so like active and like want to talk about these things all the time. I'm like, why do you think South Park has now done 2 seasons about anti-political correctness and anti-crazy liberals? Why do you think all the people on Rogan's podcast are all so adamantly against all this stuff? And I'm like,
Not
because
all
it
this- not
is
all of this.
terrible.
Yeah, but
like,
I know it's
Well,
terrible.
Rogan himself too. I mean,
Yeah, but-
I think Rogan is even more right wing than a lot of the guys he's bringing on the show. You know, he just doesn't. You know, he doesn't. I don't feel like Joe gets into politics unless he's got kind of a political expert on the show, and he lets them take, you know, kind of take it away because they're going to express their ideas more eloquently. You know, it's not exactly the most easy thing to sit on a podcast of all things and be like, okay, tell us your political beliefs.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Yeah,
one
don't
thing,
get in trouble.
one of the reasons why I became a fan of Rogan and his podcast is one because I had to stay up all night doing design projects, and it was like I could put this on for like 3 hours at a time and just work all night building models and shit. And so I got into the show and I told Gavin about it. But then also because he's like in the middle, like me, like he's not right wing, he's not left wing, and that's all I feel like I am.
Okay, that's
You know what I
interesting.
mean?
And I do have to. Okay, so
Yeah.
so I you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And Joe does support a lot of left wing ideas.
Yeah.
He does. And so for me to label him, you know, just one blanket label of he's right wing isn't really.
Yeah, I definitely would. I wouldn't say he's right wing. He likes to hunt.
I think
but-
I think that you know, and this is what's important is that people can support ideas that are on the right. People can support ideas on the left. I'm pretty sure Joe's a libertarian now.
He's if you had to define it, I'd probably say he's closer to that than some. Yeah.
So he's, you know, if you're not affecting other people, you should be able to put whatever substance you want in your body. Well, that's
Yeah.
a pretty left wing concept.
Yeah.
right?
And I'm right there with him on that. I'm right, dude. I'm left wing on a lot of. I'm left wing on the no duh issues, and I'm right wing on the no duh issues. Like that's one of the reasons why I think
What's
I'm
a
like
right wing no duh issue? If I
like
can
like I
press
don't
you here.
think I don't
Stop
think.
killing the babies.
Well, no. I think a no duh issue
That was a
is
joke.
is
You
that
kill babies,
yeah.
don't kill my fucking baby.
I think a
But
no.
I was talking about abortion.
That's what I
think,
know. We know.
To me, it's a no duh.
Abortion's not funny. Why are you laughing?
To me, it's a no duh issue that you don't want to have the taxes and the risk of starting a business to be so high that it limits people's willingness to try to start businesses. And you definitely, I don't think it's at all. It's like you should never have to pay fucking more than 50% of your income in taxes.
Right.
That's crazy to me. And some people are like, what's wrong with that, bro? What's wrong with that?
I think the main issue with the U.S. tax system is not. It's not the tax percentages as they stand. It is the wealthy having so many, and Warren Buffett has talked about this. It's the wealthy having so many additional vehicles to really work and manipulate the law. And the law is the law. Rules are rules. It's a game. You play the game the way the game is meant to be played. And if someone is playing the game and reducing their tax dramatically, you can't resent them for that. It's the way the law is structured. And when you have billionaires like Warren Buffett paying less than what their secretary is paying dramatically, well, think about how much money the country as a whole is losing.
Yeah.
A percentage of
That much
Warren
money.
Buffett's yearly income is, I would love to take that and divide it by the income of the average U.S. person, just to see how many people's taxes
His is worth.
the U.S. government, his is worth, or the U.S. government isn't receiving.
Yeah.
I think it's really fascinating, but it's clearly, I really think, hands down, the United States is the best place in the world to be rich.
Yeah.
You pay
Maybe.
the lowest tax. I think you pay the lowest tax in the world, except for like corrupt places where you can never prove that they're paying the lowest tax in the world because they're probably paying it in bribes or something. And there's a lot of places like that out there. But in the U.S., you can just, for all practical purposes, you can be corrupt, but it's legal. You just have the smartest people working for you in the most complex legal system in the world, which is what it is.
I would say another kind of issue, or like a issue I'm kind of on with as far as Republicans is like it was a hot issue as far as immigration in America, and like the liberals would like to act like you're racist if you think we should have a border, and I'm like, would you call South Korea racist? Because look at what I had to do to get into South Korea. I had to have a state and federal background check, and it had to be clean. And I also had to have a college education, and I also had to have a job sponsor my visa before I even came out here. And the whole thing cost me hundreds of dollars, and it cost me like 6 months of planning beforehand. And nobody's saying South Korea is racist. Meanwhile, everyone in America is saying is like the great country and we should be more like them. They all have secure borders. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that you need to have immigration to America be easy, but you still need to get them on the books. Like, you know what I mean? Like you still need to get them on the fucking books. I think that was mine. Yeah. You still need to have
I think that one's
all
mine.
immigrants.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm talking to myself.
Sorry.
You still need to have all the immigrants on the books. Also, all the liberals, they want to talk about all these social programs where it's all paid for by taxes. It's like, well, then we can't have any illegal immigrants because you all want free college, free healthcare. Well, who's going to pay for that? People who pay taxes, which means we need everyone to be on the books for that shit to work.
I think the liberals want everybody to be on the books.
But you're
They don't
racist.
want
But
them
you're
to-
There's
racist.
no one
but-
really.
They want people to come in
Besides-
illegally and then become
Right,
citizens
besides
easily.
some,
I think.
wild idealists that you meet when you're in college, and people usually kind of come to their senses and mellow out a bit, I think, politically as they get older, and life is the best teacher of wisdom there probably is, right? But
Unless your whole life
Isn't
you
it funny
only
when
hang
you-
out with hardcore liberals.
I don't know. You think that people come around and balance out a little bit, right? I don't know.
I'm telling you, people don't get out enough. I'm telling you, people in California, they spend their whole lives most of the time with only hardcore liberals, and they think it's okay to literally discriminate against
There's definitely a
Republicans.
swath of the population. I mean, we see
Yeah.
California do super conservative things from time to time, like Prop 8, and that's because you have Orange County, you have Southern, you do have
The middle of the
you
state.
do have you have very powerful, wealthy parts of California. Orange County is not the middle of the state; it's Southern California.
No, I'm saying you
right?
also have the middle of the state.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe the middle of the state.
Middle
or
of the state,
Inland
but it's not that
Empire.
many people.
But you have, you have places with very conservative ideas.
But I mean, when you see the whole growing tech industry,
It's a big state. It's
whole-
generally a liberal state.
yeah, the whole tech industry is all getting more and more. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's becoming the majority of all the wealth, and that's all like insanely lefty.
Right.
Yeah, and it's
Or I should say correct.
I don't think it's correct
But
to
don't
discriminate against white people because of the color of their skin.
Yo,
That's a no
Or
duh.
anyone.
That's a no duh issue. But the liberals forgot that.
Anyone
They're like,
not
you can't be
voters.
racist unless it's towards white people. Then you can be racist. In fact, we actually encourage it. And if you disagree with us, well, then you're a bigot and you're a racist, misogynist.
yeah. Okay, Tyler, why did you go to China, bro? Like, you never told me why you went to China.
I have a rough
I
idea.
think we're due for a topic change.
All right.
Yes,
I think
thank
we're due
God.
for a topic
I
change.
hate.
Yeah, I'm
fucking
sorry to
talking
everyone
politics.
that hates politics.
Well, it's not like things
let's
are going
just go
down
ahead and
bad.
No,
let's just go ahead and
I'm-
apologize for the last.
I'm burnt
10
out on
minutes.
talking politics.
Politics. Everyone's burnt out on
Yeah.
talking politics.
Yeah.
But you know what?
We met in a philosophy
Thankfully,
class.
we met in a philosophy class. It all went downhill from there. The conversation, not our friendship, that has been up, and up. And it's been quite a fucking journey, hasn't it?
So your whole journey with China started with you and Corey just kind of being crazy and being
man,
like,
me
yo,
and this
let's just
dude-
take fucking
This dude
Mandarin.
was driving his like broken down fucking car, and we were on our way to New Mexico for he wanted to go back to New Mexico for the New Year, and we were in the car. We were literally, I can remember where we were. We were on Overland, going to get on the 10 freeway to head east.
You're such a Californian, bro.
And I know exactly all those places.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And we were like, no, we should definitely take the 10 because like if we go north,
Traffic
and take
is
the,
lower.
If we take the 110, if we take the 110 to the 10, like I don't know how the overpass is gonna be, man. Yeah, so
You saw the SNL sketch,
of
right?
course, of course, this is amazing.
So good.
so good. That was fucking awesome. I was like, I don't sound like that. The fuck.
Avocado.
Are those fresh avocados?
Some guacamole and some white wine.
I'm loving this Mexican fucking architecture.
Spanish. This guy.
Pueblo.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
So-
Literally an Irvine graduate.
Right.
So I was talking to Corey, and I said, you know what?
Mandarin.
Fuck Spanish, bro. Everyone speaks Spanish. German. Nazis. Can't learn that shit, bro. Chinese, man. No,
Were you high?
that was not. Yeah, I don't know what. I'm really kind of changing the truth, the story here. But for some reason, I think it was Chinese history. So I took the history really quickly. Really in school, I always did well in history, and then in college, it was just like, I don't care if I get a job. Like I'm not going to school to get a job later. I really didn't give a fuck. So Chinese history just blew my mind, and I started reading, some books that were really influential in Chinese history. And I said, you know what? If I have to learn a language, in the UC system or most good college systems require you to learn another language, let's do Chinese, and that'll raise people's eyebrows. I'll tell people what I'm doing. I'm learning Chinese. What are you doing? Bang, just I don't know. It's a good conversation starter.
Interesting motherfucker.
So I was talking to Corey, and I was like, Corey, I'm gonna study Chinese. I kind of wanted. It would have been nice if there was at least like one person to do it with. Because I didn't know how it was gonna go over. If I just like fail it, that would kind of blow. It's like, oh, you got into UCLA, but you just failed this class. Ooh, we gotta rescind that invitation, buddy. Sorry. But yeah, it was my last semester at SMC, and Corey was like, okay, yeah, let's fucking. And Corey's always down to do something crazy and random. Shout out to Corey, by the way. Shout out to all the LA homies. It's been a long time since all of us have got together. It's been 5 years. I very, very, very rarely get a chance to go back. Maybe once a year tops. But
I haven't been back once.
that's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
I saw Corey when I went back once. When I went back home from Korea the first time.
I'm gonna see him in December. So I'm happy, man.
I saw him, his girl.
Good friendship and family, man. You gotta cherish that shit. It's so important.
He was totally himself. I was like, yeah, you are still totally Corey.
I'm sure we're all the same.
Like we're in the middle of a conversation. He's like, I want to do a shot.
I'm talking. Let me finish my thought.
He's like, you guys want
Then you can have a
sushi?
shot.
Hold on, I want a shot.
Let's do sushi shots.
And then his girlfriend's
Oyster shots.
his girlfriend's just like, yeah, let's get a shot. I'm like, where'd you guys meet again? At a rave.
That was T, right?
I'm like,
Teresa.
you guys are hilarious.
I'm looking forward to meeting her.
Yeah.
So, Chinese. So, whatever, we go to New Mexico, do some random fucking very cold New Year's in the mountains and shit. No. So, I went ahead and I studied Chinese, and literally like 2.5 years went by, and I graduated from UCLA, and I was waiting tables. I was about to graduate from UCLA, and it was probably springtime, I think, and I was at Rock Sugar waiting tables, and I literally was not supposed to be. This sounds very cheesy. I was not supposed to be working that late that day. So I was breaking, which anyone that's waited tables, especially in Los Angeles before, knows about. Well, if you're working for a big corporation, you have to break the other waiters, and it's a way for the company to avoid. It's like corporate. Excuse me. It's corporate regulation that all of the waiters get a certain break. And so you have one person who's the breaker, who takes over everyone's tables for a certain duration of time, but the breaker does not get tips. So no one wants to be the breaker. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You get a little bit extra,
hour.
extra added, to your hourly wage.
Bullshit.
You basically help everyone else with their tables, and they get to keep the money at the end of the day. Well, homegirl that was working with me got sick, and she knows who she is. Homegirl, thank you, homegirl. Got sick or wasn't feeling good and was like, I don't want to be here, blah, 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 blah. And I remember flipping a coin whether I needed to stay or not because homegirl got sick and I needed to take homegirl's, responsibilities over. I lost the coin toss and I had to stay. Well, literally like an hour to 2 hours later, I met a bunch of UCLA professors and we started chatting. They told me about the scholarship.
At your table?
They were one of my tables. I was pouring,
dope.
pouring a glass of wine with them and chatting them up. It's super important to be social. Anyone that's not social, look at yourself in the mirror. Figure out a way to fucking become more social. It will only help you. I'm serious.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, but they just seemed like warm, nice people, and I was pouring wine for them. And they really started inquiring about me, and they were UCLA professors. I was a student, and what do you know? There was a Chinese scholarship council had a scholarship, and the deadline was literally that week. This was like a Monday, and this was a Monday. The deadline was Friday, so I spent an entire week getting letters of recommendation from professors, doing medical health checks, the whole 9 yards, getting all my transcripts. Printed out or issued from the registrar's office,
which is a fucking nightmare.
It's all a monster.
Yeah.
It's all a pain in the ass.
A bureaucratic
mess.
ball busting machine.
Yeah. So we got it done. We fucking got the ball across the line, submitted that shit, and I ended up getting a 2-year ride to from my my grades in Chinese history and my grades in that Chinese class in community college. Who the fuck would have known when driving to New Mexico, having this wild idea, let's study some Chinese, would have panned out into what it did. And now I've been in China for 5 years. I started my career there working for an IT company. Now I'm actually, and that's kind of I stopped that at in the last month. I resigned from that position and started doing JavaScript full time. So I'm working on becoming a JavaScript developer. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to keep China in the equation. My girlfriend's Chinese. We've been dating for a few years now. So yeah, China became a really big part of my life, and it kind of grew from a very small interest. And one thing I really appreciate a lot is just how it expanded my mind and I think people say this a lot, traveling opens your eyes. But it really helped me see.
It really does.
It cannot be. It really opens your eyes, and it really helps you see more than what the United States is. And the United States is awesome, but it's really important for people in the United States who aren't immigrants, especially, I think, to understand what it's like to not be. And we were talking about race earlier, and I don't want to bring it back to race, but I am going to do that. When you're a European American, it's easy to be an American. And
Yeah,
it's
you
not
just-
it's
you
not
just
as
feel
easy.
like I am
You're just-
American.
right. You feel in like you're in the right place, or it feels natural. You feel fine. I'm an American. There's no second guessing that. It's not more. It's very simple for you. It's very simple for us. So I kind of saw a lot of the struggle that other people go through while living in China for 5 years. I'm very, very aware these past 5 years, whether I speak the language or not, and I do speak the language pretty good, pretty well.
which is hard to do.
中文非常难.
Basically,
中文非常难.
I like Korean. Like I looked on the internets. Apparently, Korean, Mandarin, Cantonese, Japanese, and Islam are like the 5 hardest languages.
Islam's a religion, buddy.
I mean, Arabic.
There you go.
There we go. Hey, bada zing, got it down. We figured it out. You know?
You got
Figured
twin
it
power.
out. Bada zing, yeah. But we figured it out, so we're getting through it. And no, but those are the 5 hardest languages if you're a native English speaker.
Right.
Yeah.
So you picked
It's all relative.
a
right?
really hard language.
Yeah, and it was hard. And I think the first 2 years were like awful. The first 2 years, I was like, I am the stupidest motherfucker on earth, and
Can
I
you-
was like pulling my hair out of my head.
Can you write in?
I can type very well.
Type?
I was writing a lot. It turned out to be a waste of time. Because the writing was a waste of time. And in Korean, you have an alphabet, so
It's really easy.
You can rock with that.
Yeah.
Chinese does not have an alphabet. You got 200 and something radicals, I believe, and you combine those radicals into characters. And if I could go back, I would not do any characters handwritten because you don't use them. I type characters all the time.
Yeah.
The difference is the amount of time it takes to remember how to write something. You've got so many strokes. You've got maybe, you've got anywhere from 5 to 20 strokes.
And there's a right way. There's a right order.
There's a correct way to do it,
Yeah, there's
but
an
no
order.
one's gonna beat you up if you do it wrong. And actually, you might be able to see it in the way the character looks if your stroke order was off.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's not really the most important thing. The fact is that you have to remember how to derive the characters from your brain,
Yeah.
as opposed to if you're typing, you use pinyin. Well, most people use pinyin.
I don't know what that is.
Older people, I'll tell you about that. Older people in China do use stroke order, like we're talking about, where they know the proper stroke order from for a character, and they have like 8 or 9 strokes.
Yeah.
Instead of a keyboard with letters, they have a keyboard with strokes. So it's literally like lines, different kinds of lines.
Whoa.
There's 2
right.
different keyboards.
Many different kinds of keyboards in the world.
No, I mean-
you have
no.
a Korean keyboard,
No,
right?
I mean 2 different keyboards for the same language.
There's many keyboards for there's a few keyboards for Chinese language. I think the most kind of basic keyboard would be like literally where you just write the character out and it will recognize what character you're writing and you select it. That kind of takes a long time.
Yeah.
And it's so one of my professors at Beida, actually, Beijing University, she's really awesome, Jin Lao Shi. Fucking holler to Jin Lao Shi. She's amazing, and she was super strict. She was super strict, but thank you.
I just wanna give you a
thank you.
fucking-
No, it's good. Every once in a while,
fucking
you just give me.
bro.
I'm just like, oh, this guy. We're such bros. He's putting
I
his arm
fucking
around
missed
me.
you, Dad. Just right
Get
on the
closer to
mic.
the fucking mic, you novice.
No, you're saying good shit. I just want
But
people to hear it.
no. Shout out to Jin Lao Shi. She was one of the best professors I ever had, and she was super strict, but she really helped us learn Chinese. Everyone. That was
She
in
the girl
class.
that just like bah, hit you.
Jin Lao Shi.
'Cause I
I'm
remember-
pretty sure most of my Chinese teachers hit me, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember your
whatever.
first time coming back. You're just like, there's this little angry
No,
Chinese
that was
woman.
my first.
Yeah,
That was my first year. Yeah. She ended up like saying like, "Oh, I have this girl is my friend's daughter and she wants me to she needs an English partner. She needs a language partner to practice English." Okay, great. I need a language partner to practice Chinese. Fantastic. I don't have to pay for it. Amazing.
she also needs a
I
husband.
meet up with her. It wasn't even like that. Honestly, it wasn't even like that. I meet up with this girl, and after like the 3rd or 4th week of meeting up with her, we were becoming good friends. It was cool. All of a sudden, we're in a cafe. We're in like a very public place. Just like explodes crying when I bring up the teacher.
Whoa.
Explodes crying.
Uh-huh.
She proceeds to tell me in English. My Chinese really wasn't very good at the time. Proceeds to tell me in English, I know you like your teacher, but I hate her. And like going off, and I'm like, what? Pandora's box? What the fuck did I just get myself into?
Jesus.
She's like, your teacher is sleeping with my father.
Whoa.
Your teacher is
Whoa.
sleeping with my father. They're both married, not to each other, and her baby is my father's baby.
Whoa.
That's my half brother. And I was like, Jerry. No,
Seriously.
And I was like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, I wanted to practice some Chinese. I could not believe that I'd gotten myself into this situation. And the poor girl, I mean, she was really dealing with a lot.
Sounds like it.
But I don't think we met after that. It got really awkward. I was like, I'm so sorry.
That's crazy.
I didn't
It's like this weird,
know.
like the world's gravitational force. Just like I never saw her again. I don't know why. Like
No idea how that happened. I mean, fuck. She could have just been embarrassed for losing her shit. Who knows? You know, it goes both ways for sure. But yeah,
Damn.
anyway. So I don't
How
know
old
how
was
we
your
got on that
teacher? How old's
tangent.
your teacher?
She was in her 30s.
Oh, so I thought
was
when I remember
Maya.
when you told me about her, I thought she was like an old woman. Like she was like an older woman who just
Maybe
hit
that
you
was
with-
just your mental picture.
23,
Yeah.
when you're 23, you
Yeah.
know, I don't know. She had a solid 10 years on me for sure.
But I had a picture when you told me the
mental
first story.
image.
You'd be like, I'm here just like, Chinese, and then she'd be like, say this. And
I'm here for the Chinese.
You're just like, you're like you said, like it seemed like you were kind of just like, yeah, this is crazy. I'm kind of taking this class, and then this fucking old Chinese lady comes up to you, be like, say this, and you'd be like, and she'd go, bah, hit me, and you're like, stop hitting me.
I would get that though. They're like, 不对，不对，你又说错了，
Bah.
你要努力学习，要努力学习。
Sounds like you're mad.
Yeah, more or less.
Koreans are really nice. All my teachers have been super nice. Never been hit by a teacher.
Have you seen the?
I kind of liked it though.
Have you seen the?
I meant like it was encouraging.
It was
I was
kinky,
like,
you
man,
know?
like, whoa, no.
Have you seen the
this
Conan
is
O'Brien?
very innocent. This was very innocent.
Have you seen Conan O'Brien comes to Korea? It was like-
was funny.
Yeah, so Conan O'Brien comes to Korea. He did this whole thing where he came to Korea, South Korea, and he like one bit is he meets a Korean teacher, and she's like I don't know, probably like
30 years old.
mid 30s, like not a bad looking girl, and he's just like, okay, so I guess we're gonna learn, and he's just playing comedian the whole time. He's like, I guess we're gonna learn the Korean language here. So what can you teach me? And he's like, what is that? And she's got like a stick. She's like, this is my love stick. And he's like, huh? He's like, are you going to hit me with your love stick? And he's like, just being all kinky. And she's like, no, bad boy. And she hits him. He's like,
Conan.
Yeah. And so he's just like playing up the like that. He's like, this is my ultimate fantasy. You know that, right? Like, and she's like,
He's
bad boy. And
honest
she
about it.
like hits him some more.
And he's just like, oh, I like it. I like it.
My dad told me this story of being, I think it was on the Universal lot, and seeing like some fool roll up in a fresh fucking Lambo, and then all of a sudden it's Conan. He was like, "Hey Conan, what's up?" And he's just like, "Hey," and just like rolling through the like rolling off the stop sign in his fresh Lambo. I don't know. Apparently Conan's tall as shit.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
tall.
he's super tall. I saw him live with Taylor, like a live recording.
Taylor Bertram.
Yeah, our little bro.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I just like Taylor for his birthday present. Nancy got him, like we just went to the taping. It was interesting. It was funny.
that when he had lost his? It was him, right? Who lost his network contract, and then he went and did the tour around the country. And
Conan? Maybe.
Conan? I don't
I
know.
think it was Conan. He did
I
the
never-
Conan show. If you
Yeah.
were you at the studio?
Yeah, I was at the studio
Okay,
during the
never mind.
recording, but I never follow Conan, so I don't know anything about his career. I was just like, yeah, Conan, I've heard of him, and I went to it, and to me, I was just like, all right, this is interesting. The most interesting thing to me was the fucking stand-up comedians like there to hype the crowd up before the show
Beforehand.
starts.
They're awesome, right?
Yeah, like this guy was funny, and it was just kind of like ridiculous. He's just like, come on, like blah 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 jokes, and he's just like making fun of random people. I'm like, this is like stand-up comedy. It's just to get us like in a better energy.
Yeah.
And it kind of more
Yeah.
like I had known about like kind of crowd share.
Crowd warmers.
Yeah, I'd known about like what's the German term we learned about in film school about the mutual, like if an audience they feel emotions kind of like in a sync.
Yeah.
There was a German term for it that I learned in film school
In
about.
sync or in a sink?
Yeah, like if people are
I
in a
love
crowd.
that band.
Yeah. when people are in a crowd, they kind of share on each other's energy,
Feed off each other's.
Yeah, like
I
if
get ya.
yeah,
For sure.
and there's a German word I'm forgetting for that I learned in film school, but I'd heard about that and I was like, yeah, I guess that's kind of true. When I watch movies, like that's why watching movies in a theater I think can be more exciting sometimes. But then I saw it so. Like, I was like, no, this is like a science. Like, that's not just like something I learned about. Like, this is a hard science to the point where they have a hype man before a live recording.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would actually, man. Okay, you know how you have those things you really want to do in life, but you're terrified to do them? Stand up is one of them for me. Like, it's something that I think I could be successful at and could have fun doing, but god damn it, is it scary.
I've thought about it too.
Me too. Because
That's fucking scary. And Joe Rogan talks about how the science, he sometimes, alludes to the science of, and I haven't watched, there's 1,000 episodes, right? And I'm really kind of came late to the show. I've been aware of Joe Rogan's show for a long time, but it's really only recently that I'm listening to his stuff quite regularly. And we talked about the stand-up days.
What was
the
it?
science of working the crowd.
Did you guys watch that video I linked in the chat?
I haven't yet.
I didn't get a chance to because
You
I
were
was getting
traveling
on a
here.
plane.
You were getting on a plane. Okay, well, basically,
I was at work.
the video, it's like a 3-part segment. It was basically like I probably should learn the dude's name, but he's like a Navy SEAL dude giving a speech at like
Jocko?
a university. No, it wasn't Jocko.
It wasn't Jocko.
It was some other guy. But the beginning is the only part that really, really like I really liked, and it was basically like
So you sent me the whole
vibed.
video?
Well, it was only 6 minutes,
Oh.
but it was like the first 2 minutes was the bit that I thought was really interesting.
I think I've heard him talk before. If you want to do anything, you have to start with making your bed.
Yeah, like that.
I've heard-
Making
making your
so
bed.
Let me
making
say.
your bed.
If the phrase is, if you want to change the world, start by making your bed.
Oh, okay. Your dad sent that shit.
No, well, I didn't get it from my dad. Maybe he did. I
Hold
don't
on.
know.
Who sent the thing and posted it on one of your walls,
It's probably my
I
dad.
posted it
which
today.
was making your bed every day?
That's probably Taylor.
It was
A
Taylor.
little brother Taylor.
It was Taylor.
I don't remember.
But I'd already, dude, I was already there, bro. I already seen
well,
that shit.
anyway,
Your
but-
other family member sent that shit to me.
Yeah.
that's awesome. But what was I saying? No, but the reason why that struck so
After this talk, we got to talk about the Battle of Hurley State because we're already at an hour.
okay, yeah, but
Do we have to talk about
I want to
yeah,
hear your point of
I
view.
want to hear about fucking more about China and like
Let's
fucking
talk about
shenanigans.
China.
All right, let's
We can
talk
do
about
Battle of
China.
But let me
and
finish
Northern
this.
Korea.
Let me finish this. Okay, so the thing that I thought was interesting was because it basically had the same thread that Jordan Peterson said about like all these. I don't want to talk about social justice warriors, but I'm gonna bring up one segment where he said all these people
That
they're
was
young.
just saying that was all I was just saying. Garrett, don't jump on.
Yes, please don't jump on it. Please don't jump on it. Just listen and then move on.
I see through your speech.
What was I saying?
They are twins.
You're like, I agree.
That was
the thing
mind
about that
reading.
fucking social.
Mind reading.
No, what he was saying was he was like, okay, if you want to like, protest the economy, you want to protest government, you want to do all these crazy things, like first start by cleaning your room. Like that's what Jordan Peterson said. Meaning like you need to work on yourself. You need to be able to maintain a household.
I feel like he's implying that their rooms are dirty.
yeah,
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 exactly.
exactly. But not just
How
the
many
rooms, but
rooms? How many of these like girls' rooms has Jordan Peterson been in?
devil's advocate, motherfuckers. But also, he's talking about
Probably a ton, dude. Jordan Peterson slings.
Jordan Peterson.
he slings. I'm
I
sure.
just called him like Jordan Peter.
Jordan Peter.
No,
Jordan
but-
Peter
that's a
Slane.
That's a
But what
street name.
Guys, killing me.
Sorry.
What I was trying to say was the thing that the Marine the Marine guy said. I think he was special ops or something. He's saying like you should start by cleaning your bed, by making your bed because you'll feel pride for making your bed, and then you'll feel in a small sort. You'll do one accomplishment. You'll accomplish one task, and then you'll feel some sort of small pride over it, and then that will lead to doing more tasks and feeling more accomplishment. So it's like so every day if you start by doing one small task, one small achievement, then you're gonna ride that wave and do a lot more throughout the day. And so I immediately was like, I watched the video, turned around, my bed is fucking a disaster. So I made my bed, instantly felt better. I was like, yeah, the whole fucking room looks way cleaner, way more, organized just by making my bed. And then so that's what sparked the whole, I was in a terrible mood earlier because girlfriend argument. And so I made my bed and I was just like, still fucking pissed. Went to the gym, came back, I'm still fucking pissed. And then I was like, "Argh," and then so I just cleaned the whole goddamn house. And then like after I finally finished cleaning the whole house, I felt phenomenal.
It's a great way. It's a
I
great
felt
way
so
to
good.
vent. You know,
Yeah.
is there a less destructive and more productive way to vent? You know,
And then
it's great.
another
it's
thing he said, okay, restarted. Another thing he said, he was like, even if for some reason or other, if you have a terrible day, even after,
you come home
to a made bed and you're fucking stoked that you made the bed and the next day is going to be another
I seriously
beginning.
did not understand why I should make my bed my entire life because
Me
I was
too.
just gonna fuck it up again
Until
I watched the
2
video.
days ago,
I
yeah.
literally watched the video.
I-
You gotta
yeah.
listen, you gotta watch more shit that your little brother posts.
He
bro.
never posted it
No,
on
he
my
put- yeah,
fucking shit.
I saw that. And
We both
yeah.
saw it.
Yeah.
We both saw it.
And-
And we saw it like a year ago, and we've been making our beds for a solid year.
All right, well, I'm very excited about my, achievements 2 days
this
ago.
guy.
He's getting left behind.
Oh, here. Well, as twins, you can't.
I thought you guys would have fucking not telecommunicated. What is the thing I'm going for?
telekinesis.
Yeah, I thought you would have utilized telepathy and you would have brought
Telepathy,
you would have,
yeah. Here's the thing: as
brought him
twins,
into the
though,
loop here.
we have a very short fuse when it comes to telling each other what to do.
that makes sense. We're
So,
equal.
yeah.
No, we're not. I'm superior.
Yeah.
Guys.
So like, but no, I've built.
Family's
I
that
watched.
way.
Yeah, I
Family's
watched that
that way.
video a long time ago when Taylor gave me that point, and to me, it was. I've used that in weird ways because like I've been an artist for a long time, but it wasn't until I graduated college where I didn't have an assignment and a deadline. It's like I need to I just need to self-invoke progress. I need to self-invoke a project. I need to just decide for myself like when to start. And so the thing for me was just like,
Be your
okay,
own boss.
well, I need to just tell myself, okay, we're going to be productive, not after the next YouTube video, but now. And so I learned in that post-grad just art projects incentives that like, okay, starting an art project is a big undertaking because like especially when I get into these digital paintings like these fucking ones behind you, for example, we're talking at hundreds of hours put into each one.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
beast. They're
Yeah.
super beast. I feel like you should be getting more attention for this stuff, dude.
Well, here's the thing: once you really dig into the art world, you realize how good everyone else is.
Wow.
It's insane how good
I
everyone else
almost
is.
bought a drawing course on the internet the other day. Like I was watching YouTube, and they're like, "You should learn to draw." Udemy, it's only $19, and I was like, "Yeah, that guy draws really well." And there was like this subconscious, message to me in the advertisement that I could also draw that well,
You could.
and I was like,
I think everyone could.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but how much time would it take, right?
It takes a
and
fuck
like
lot of
I
time.
can't even write a fucking letter so people can read it, right?
Yeah.
Like I write a fucking I am Tyler, and people are like looking at it like I am tired. What the fuck? Like people look at it they're like this dude like write coherently. I don't know, but like I can't write for shit. Like
Chinese.
no, dude, not. Oh, I wish, right? Actually, my Chinese characters are honestly more legible than letters because I'm really bad with round shapes.
Yeah.
I write round shapes in a really edgy way, and it doesn't look good. Chinese characters are not round. It's all
Yeah.
strokes. It's all a stroke. So you're never drawing a circle like you would when you're writing Korean letters.
E
There's
or
circles,
A.
right?
Nah,
there's no
a couple.
A, E,
Yeah.
O. There's no circles.
Yeah.
So it's all super straight, and I can write it relatively legibly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, what I learned though is just like, okay, like before I do anything artistic and productive, what I realized was like, okay, what's a easy task I can jump on right away that'll get me in the productive train, and it was cleaning. And I had a very fucking dirty roommate at the time, so I quickly became like all of a sudden a clean freak because cleaning became like my step into productivity. So I'd always clean a little bit, and then once I get like, okay, now that the fucking kitchen's clean, now my room's tidy, now I'll jump into an art project. And so I've been on that for a long time. And
are
it was
you working on anything now?
well, I have a line art that I'm working on right now. Well, I have a couple. Yeah, actually, a couple sketches that I want to touch up. But I mean, now my art, I jumped from being strictly into hardcore art and game art because I was looking into going into the game industry.
Right.
Towards now our YouTube channel. So now art has become like a secondary thing where it's like, okay, I might clean or I might get on the productive train and then edit some videos. And then if I do an art project, it's more like on a lazy Sunday or something like that. Or like maybe I just finished a YouTube video, so I'll give myself a couple days to be like, I'll do a couple sketches or something
when
like
you
that.
were one thing you said when you were talking about, you mentioned the competition in the art industry. I feel like there's a lot of shitty programmers in the world. Like I'm one of them. I'm an aspiring programmer right now. Mm-hmm. But the demand of the industry is kind of inspirational, where people can program for a year and get like good enough to really be able to make a difference and help people build digital products. You don't feel like art is that way. It's more, why is art different?
Well,
is there less demand?
Well, I would say like art is not usable unless it's for concept art for bigger projects. Like art itself, like a painting on the wall, is like the point to where it gets to usability is at a very high threshold. Okay. So you have no demand for it unless you're already amazing, kind of. And then art, as far as usability for design or for like game design or production design for like film and television, that it has to be also at a hireable level. And the hireable level, you have to be already a super, super high level of artistic ability, and not just on like traditional art styles like drawing, anatomy, perspective drawing, environment design, all that kind of stuff. Like you have to get to a certain level before you're hireable. And to get to that level, you're competing with people who've been doing it their whole life and went to undergrad for it and often went to graduate school for it. So I realized really quick, while I've always been good at art, I ain't shit. And
but hold on. Now, with that said,
I've become much, much better, but it's taken a lot of time.
Don't you think that like that statement is, I'm not willing to make the sacrifice to do what it takes to get as good as them? Because certainly, like there's a point where when it comes to being employable, like you have to catch up. You have to be at the same level at some point.
Yeah.
I feel like any industry, what you just said, I mean, art is interesting because there's a lot of, like, it's natural talent is in everything. For me, I'm not an art person. I'm not an artist. I'm not very knowledgeable about art. So the stereotype is that art requires a lot of natural talent. But the same stereotype about coding would be that it's for geniuses. And if you're not a genius, you can't code.
Silly. Yeah, it's not. No, art is... Well, there's like I said, there's two different types of art. Like there's fine art, like art that's just supposed to go on your wall, and then there's usable art like when I say usable art, I mean like art that has to be technically proficient so that it can work on a broader project. Like your art, like you might be an artist, but okay, you need to be able to 3D sculpt to make a game character and a wire mesh for that game character to put into a game.
So that has to do with being knowledgeable about certain software that helps you
build
models.
It's not just, you have to know all the traditional arts like anatomy, all that kind of stuff, but then you also have to have the software know-how to know 3D programs to be able to be like, okay, not only is this a good 3D model, but it's meshed correctly and it's got all the correct you could say anchor points to be puppeted later to send on to somebody else.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So there's when I say usable art, it means like you have to get to a certain threshold to where you're at the level of all these other artists that you're working with because they have to be able to use your art. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you got to find...
It becomes a trade,
if you're gonna
not
do
really
an
art form. It's like a trade.
Okay,
you know
so if you were to do it, it's about, and really coding is very similar, it's about how can you get into a community where you have an opportunity to engage in these products and engage in these projects and have an opportunity to work with these people and build a piece of a project that you have to pass on to someone else and get some kind of feedback.
Yeah.
Is it shit? Is it okay? What a part of it is good? What part of it is bad? You know.
Also, like, you might be working on, like, if it's in the game industry, like, you'll be working on characters for a game, and they all have to have the same artistic aesthetic. Like, they all have to have the same feel, like the same kind of cartoony feel or the same kind of realism feel.
So
You know what
this
I mean?
would translate, and this translates into like something mathematical. Like they're sharing angles in common.
Yeah.
There's ratios that they're sharing in common,
Yeah.
like facial ratios and things.
Like, this is how the eyes are in this game. Like, this, like, you're using this kind of cartoonish eye. You're using this kind of cartoonish hair. You know what I mean? You're
So
using
at that
these
point,
colors.
you don't even have your own style. It's like you have to be able to implement this. Period.
Well, you just have to know your shit. It's like a hardcore trade, and it's not something I couldn't get into. It's just something I need to go back into school for. And I was looking.
Do you though?
You kind of do, yeah.
Why can't you do it online?
Well, I was You could do schooling online, and I looked at, and I mean, you could. Here's the thing: you could get hired if you get to a certain level directly from just like you put enough of your work out onto websites and you win enough art competitions and stuff like that. You could get hired into some art team for a game company or something like that, and that's what I was looking to do for a long time, but. I eventually decided, like, okay, I want to build this company with my brother because not only do I love cigars,
Yeah.
and I love smoking cigars, and I could definitely see myself selling cigars. I also read a sales book that got me excited about, like, okay, well, what's something I would actually want to sell, and it wouldn't be like, oh, my fucking, Tupperware is better than your Tupperware. It'd have to be like, there's certain people that get into just sales.
Have
like,
you ever heard about legal insurance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Legal Zoom.
Yeah. Or,
Which
yeah,
is
anyway.
what Joe Rogan always.
Yeah.
Is
But-
one of the sponsors.
But the point
China.
is, yeah.
Fucking China.
Yeah.
We got 15 minutes, guys.
Anyways,
Less than
anyways,
that.
my-
Well, we keep it to what? We keep it to
I'll wrap
1:30?
it up.
What do we keep?
Yeah,
try to keep it
130. We cut out. Yeah, but essentially,
Everyone's dropped off by now.
what I
Stories, drunk in China. Woo.
all right, we'll wrap
Drunk
it
in
up.
China.
I'll wrap
I've
it up.
done some
I'll
shit.
catch your hints. God damn it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he
So
kept
subtle.
asking me questions.
So subtle.
Jesus
I know, but
Christ.
you gotta like realize.
Anyways, my
You're
point
the
was,
host. Control
Yeah.
your guest.
Yeah, the point is I with this company I saw opportunities to do wall art, YouTube channel art, potential like product art, also sales of a product I
Small
love.
businesses are
Yeah.
a fantastic way to develop loads of multifaceted skills,
Yeah.
hands down.
And there's so many
That is
creative-
not a bad.
Yeah.
Even if you spend two years on it, and at the end of it, you're like, okay, this was cool, but like we want to do something else now. The knowledge that you're going to carry with you is just going to be
Yeah.
huge.
There's a lot
if
of
I can quickly,
yeah.
if I can just quickly add to that, the. Managing director of the web firm that I was working for up until this last month said to me, you know, when I learned all my tech skills really developed. You know, he was a PHP developer. Then he went and learned a lot of server side stuff. I think it was like MySQL stuff. But he went on and he learned a lot of server side information, and he became this really useful guy. In the web world was because he worked for a small company where there was just a few people around, and at the end of the day, somebody had to do it.
You have to do
And
a lot of
all
different
these
things.
guys were stepping up to do shit they didn't know how to do on a regular basis, and that's a phenomenal opportunity that that all of us really need, and that's why I'm actually looking to get into a small business myself, mainly because I like calling myself a boss. But
Sajang Nim.
and learn-
another
learning
thing
to
is
self-manage.
homeboy Alibaba, Jack Ma. Jack Ma was like, if you're in your 30s, you work for a small business. You work for a small business because it forces you to learn so much. There's not a better recipe that I know of for learning so many an array of different skills than working for a small business. And I think it's awesome. If you work for a really big business, they're gonna stick you in a niche.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna stick you in a little pocket of responsibility. You're gonna become a master at that. You're gonna learn processes, etc. But you're not going to get thrown into the water to the sharks and forced to survive and do a lot of other things. So I think that you're totally on the right path. China. I talked about Alibaba, Jack Ma, perfect segue into China.
I would like to. I would.
China.
Baijiu.
Do we want to
fuck?
talk about? Do you want to talk about
Baijiu.
funny stories in China, or do you want to talk about like China's relation to North Korea and why we
No,
might
man.
go
Let's
to
keep
war?
it light.
We
Funny,
don't know that. We
funny
wanna keep it
stories.
light. We wanna
Okay.
keep it light.
Jesus Christ.
You do have
Also,
interesting perspective from
I
that.
know a little bit, but I don't know. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes?
Okay.
right?
Craziest
First time drinking Baijiu
or craziest night in China in
someone-
general.
someone-
or craziest night.
Craziest
Craziest night in
China.
China in general.
Yeah. First day in China. First impressions. First
day in China. I mean,
First,
the first few
first
months
Chinese
are just
girl you slept
honeymoon.
with.
Honeymoon. I've only slept with one Chinese girl. And I love her very much. Baby, love you. Can't wait to come home and see you.
Bada zing. China. Okay. So you went to China, just like me. You went to China completely alone.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know anybody
went out.
there.
Didn't know anyone there.
Making friends is fun, right?
Making friends actually for me was super easy because I was a student. So I knew what university I was going to. I had that printed out. But I didn't know much else. And even though I had studied Chinese, I didn't speak much Chinese. Like, I knew how to, I studied Chinese on paper, right? So there was no, what's up? Oh, excuse me. Man, is this just going to suck at the end? Where, no one has heard anything that I've said?
It's just gonna be you're gonna be quiet.
Oh, no. I'm a loud dude, though. I hope I make up for it in the end.
It's good content. Don't get me wrong. I feel like we could do only 100 more of these with Tyler.
Yeah, we could, but
Yeah.
Tyler's only here now,
Yeah.
so.
I will fucking fly in and we'll do podcasts
Yeah.
together for the fuck of it. Beijing is a 2-hour flight to Seoul, people.
I know,
and
but-
the fact that I'm officially fun employed, which is great.
Fun employee?
Fun employed, yeah, it's the new term for fucking losers that don't have jobs.
I've never heard that before. Fun employed?
Get with the program. Fun employed. Unemployed's negative. Fun employed is so much fun.
Oh, I get it now. Okay.
I like it.
I would say between jobs. I'm between jobs.
That sounds lame.
Thank you.
but it sounds
it was on my tongue and I'm like,
but
No.
I mean, it sounds better than
Brother?
unemployed.
No, fun employed sounds better
Okay,
than both.
listen, I agree. Fun employed is more epic sounding, more fun.
New term, I'm already on board.
Too many funds in this sentence, but between jobs sounds better than just saying I'm unemployed.
shit.
Yeah.
When you burn yourself with your own cigar, you gotta fucking
Get a life.
Go
take a look in the mirror.
Figure your
You're doing
shit out.
something wrong. You've been fun employed for too long, son.
So okay, first time,
Wildest
wildest time. Fucking tell us the fight when the fist fight you said you almost got in with the homeless girl.
What?
You said you
Okay.
didn't punch
I
the
feel
girl.
like I'm being slandered.
You
in
didn't
this
punch-
podcast.
Now you have to defend yourself.
didn't
Now I
punch
gotta
the
defend
woman.
myself.
You didn't
You
punch the
punched
woman.
a homeless person.
But you
If she
said-
had teeth,
Really
she
need to
would
use
have
the
lost
bathroom.
it.
You notice that no one in Joe Rogan's podcast is ever like, "Hey Joe, I have to go pee."
No, they
Every
are.
once in a while they do, yeah.
Do they?
All
Yeah,
the time, yeah.
yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. So not.
You got to piss?
Well, we'll just.
You can pee, and I'll tell my fucking Baijiu story.
I'll go pee. You tell a by Joe.
Is this Baijiu?
By Joe,
Oh, I always
which
said
means
Baijiu.
white liquor. You tell a by Joe story, and then I'm just gonna scoot off to the little boys' room, and then
Okay, I'll
we'll
be quick.
We'll pick up on your allegation of me assaulting homeless women or something.
If she had teeth, she would have
If she
lost
had
them, but she didn't have teeth.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch.
He's an
mics.
animal. He'll attack
I'm-
anybody. You
I'm
gotta
gonna
watch
switch
out for
mics
him.
now. Okay, so Baijiu. I guess that's the correct way to say it.
Bye, Joe.
Baijiu is the Chinese native spirit
Liquor?
hard liquor. In Korea it's soju, as Garrett knows, but Baijiu. Have you ever had it?
I had one shot.
It
They're
tastes-
different than soju. He's saying that
It's
it's
super
the
strong.
national. It's like the national spirit or liquor for
Yeah.
China, whereas soju is the national spirit or
Yeah.
liquor for Korea, but they're
Yeah.
totally different.
Totally different. Baijiu is really, really strong. It's like 115 proof.
Whoa.
So I want to say it's do the math.
Your average whiskey is
60%?
80 proof.
80 proof, yeah. So you could, if it's over 100 proof, you could light it on fire. So you could light Baijiu on fire very easily, just poof, and it'll light on fire. But when you taste it, it tastes
Like it's on
so
fire.
strong. You feel like you're tasting, you're drinking straight rubbing alcohol or gasoline. It tastes absolutely miserable. It's no fun at all to drink. If you're drinking it, you have one purpose, and that purpose is to get as drunk as humanly possible, as fast as humanly possible. So I've drank it twice in Korea, both times with Jin, our alcoholic acquaintance.
And his name being Jin.
His name's Jin, and he's a fucking pilot, and he's a raging alcoholic. Kind of funny, you know? It reminds me of the movie Flight.
Guess which seats again, dude?
No, it's why he sit there, because the fucking cigars or whatever.
Oh, okay.
My cigar's done. But anyway, we drank Baijiu, and we were at a Chinese restaurant. We drank Baijiu. It's super cheap for a bottle, even at a restaurant. It's super cheap. And we were like, we did one bottle, and I was absurdly drunk. And then my friend was, who again, like I said, is a
mine.
raging alcoholic.
Sorry, I had to take a puff in yours.
Yeah, that's it.
That is good. That is good.
Yeah. My friend, he got another bottle, which I knew was a bad idea. But we drank it, and we were so shit-faced that we left.
Several bottles of Baijiu at this point.
Yeah. We left, and we met Garrett at 9:30.
9:30 in the evening.
Yeah, and I couldn't walk. And neither could my girlfriend. And
you also couldn't answer your phone. Because it was a goddamn nightmare. So all right, I'll bring my side of the story in. So I just get 2 new coworkers at my job in Korea, 2 new English ladies, and I guess I've developed this is my old job. I developed a reputation as the guy that goes out every weekend. And so they were like, we want to go, and they were English girls, so they like to they're
British
aware
girls
of drinking.
Can slam beers.
Yeah, they like to drink.
God.
Yeah, they like to drink.
I've had British girls drink me under the table on regular occasion.
These girls like to drink. And
shout out to Sarah and Emma. Dear God.
And even though both of these girls had boyfriends back home, they wanted to come party with Garrett. So I was like,
shout out to Sarah and Emma.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, and also shout out to Fran, and I forgot the other girl's name. She's engaged now. So
derailing my story. Garrett.
Anyways, I'm bringing my side of the story to yours. But my point is, I'm bringing them to Hongdae, the party district of West Seoul. And I'm saying, we're going to meet. Don't worry, girls. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to meet up with my brother. We're going to meet with my friends. They're drinking. We're going to meet up with them. It's going to be awesome. We get there. All of a sudden, radio silent. None of my friends are getting back to me. No one. Like, fucking nobody's talking to me. I'm like, all right, let's go to the park. It's fucking 9:30. I don't know why nobody's talking anymore. And it's not just Gavin. Gavin's not talking anymore. Ian's not talking anymore. Jin's not talking anymore. Nobody will answer my text messages. And so me and these 2 girls are just hanging out at the park, waiting for text messages. And even though, like, I feel like I'm supposed to show these girls a good time. And I'm like, what the hell's taking so long? Finally, Gavin gets back to me. He doesn't answer my text message. He calls me on a phone. And him calling is just like, hey, man. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, like, come on down. Yeah, come on down. Hey, get the... I'm just like, where are you? Where are you? I'm here. Where's that? You don't... What? We're here, man. Come get me here. I'm just like, where the fuck are you? We're at the park. I'm like, I'm at the park. Where are you? I'll see you. I don't see you. I don't see you.
Monkey bars.
Yeah. Eventually, I do get to him, and this guy can't walk. It's 9:30, and in Korea, normally it's accustomed to stay out till 4, 5 because the trains start running at 5:30 in the morning. It's totally normal to stay out till like 5:30, and at this time, when I'm fresh to Korea, we would regularly do it all the time. So I'm thinking. And I'm telling these girls all the time, yeah, we'll party all night, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I get to my brother at 9:30 and this guy can't walk. And then he can't walk. He can't answer his phone. Like, he's just stumbling everywhere. He loses all of our friends. He's like, I finally meet him and I meet his girlfriend. And then I'm just like, where's everybody else? He's like, they're over.
You had just gotten to Korea.
We lost him. I'd been in Korea for like 3 or 4 months or something like that.
Yeah. All right.
But we lose. He was with a whole group of people. Completely lost him. Like, yeah. So it's just
because they also drank the Baijiu.
Yeah.
So
they drank the Baijiu.
We all drank the Baijiu.
The white liquor.
Yeah, and okay, so the night turned into a giant blur. I remember I passed out at a hookah bar. I also was smoking my pipe in a hookah bar.
That's a story.
Like a total asshole.
No, you came back. Like, you couldn't walk and you couldn't really talk.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the hookah bar, like there was a moment where you came back, and then all of a sudden it was like you're with us.
Yeah,
And then I remember
up.
the English girls being literally just like, Gavin, like you're here.
Yeah.
Like you're fucking. They literally said those words out loud. They're like, you're here now. And then
Yeah.
and I remember Lily's just like,
My girlfriend is out. Yeah.
And I remember one of them, Catherine. It was Catherine and friend, and Catherine. I remember like you guys were just out of it, just like we're wasted. And Catherine, she just turned to me. She's like, Lily, she's beautiful. And I'm just like, yeah, my brother does good. He does work, man. And they're like, you know,
put in the work, you get what you deserve.
but eventually, Gavin all of a sudden was just like, oh yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
And we can have a conversation again.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, we can actually talk to you now.
Yeah. It was crazy. And then that night ended with me going home, having some crazy wild sex, and then falling almost down the stairs and dying in my house.
Everyone needed to know that.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Like I hit the back of my head so hard that
What?
I hit the back, like I almost fell down a flight of stairs, completely blacked out, and I hit the back of my head so hard that the back of my head hurt for 3 days
Fuck,
straight.
dude, you probably should have gone.
Probably.
And, got a CAT scan or a
Probably.
CT scan
Yeah.
or some of that.
I should have.
business.
Yeah, I remember watching
God damn.
Interstellar. Do you see that movie? Fucking dope movie.
Probably fucking has some interstellar playbacks in your head about your entire life.
I remember watching
After smacking
Interstellar,
your head.
and we were sitting in the front row because it was Saturday and we bought our tickets late. So I'm sitting in the front row and I'm trying to look up, but every time I look up, the back of my head would touch the back of the chair and it would hurt. So that I would have to I couldn't put my head on the chair because the back of my head hurt. Yeah, so I was really drunk that night. And then I also didn't remember a ton. And apparently so did all the other people who partook in the Baijiu. And so one of the girls in our group, she lost her wallet. So she went back to the Chinese restaurant and
The next day?
And she was like, do you guys have my wallet? And then apparently, I wasn't here for this, but she told me about this. She was like, I need my wallet. I don't know where it is. Maybe I left it here because we got drunk here. And apparently the owner was like, come here. Just like, he didn't speak any English, but he was like, you need to see this. And so she was like, okay. And so they go into the back room for like the boss, and they're watching on the security monitor. They played the footage from the security camera, right? Yeah, they played the.
This is what happened to your wallet.
Yeah. He was like,
Watch this.
he was like, we have your wallet, but like, you need to see how you lost your wallet. Okay, and so in the security footage. And it wasn't just her and the boss. It was like the boss and her and a bunch of employees were like, yo.
All the staff
All
were
the
like-
staff was like, yo, we need to watch this video. It's hilarious. Yeah. So it's me and all my friends. We're all drinking.
Whatever you said.
We're
Look, you're so stupid.
yeah, basically. Yeah, look like you're so dumb. Like, we're all getting drunk. And
Your Chinese is the best Chinese I've ever heard.
by
You need
jerk.
to hear more Chinese.
By jerk.
The way you speak it sounds so crazy to
Such
me.
a strong R sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The R sound is
The R.
is
Burp.
I'm living in Beijing, so there's
Like
gonna be a
chirp.
little R. I'm learning from people. That's a northern accent. Anyway,
Ah, okay.
You're telling an amazing story. Don't
No,
let me
no,
interrupt you.
okay.
I'm sorry.
But in the security camera, I'm hearing this from second person, but in the security camera footage, she said Lily at one point in time just took a bottle of water and just started dumping it on my head. Like my girlfriend just started dumping water on my head, and I would be like, apparently I would like,
Would be oblivious. That
apparently
there's
I
water.
would turn and be like, where is that water coming from? And my girlfriend would be like,
I think
then-
I'm sweating.
and then she would used to be like, oh, and then like drops the water behind. I'm like, what the fuck is this water coming from? And I never got I was the butt end of the joke, and I never understood
So
what was
happened
happening.
to the wallet?
Well, apparently in the video, there's a video of her. She's like yelling at someone, and then she pulls her wallet out and just fucking throws it across the room, and it just hit the wall and fell.
Just forgets about it.
And then she just walked out of the restaurant.
my
She just
God.
took her wallet, threw it,
This
and
is
then
what
walked out.
happens when you take foreigners out of the West who
Yeah.
like haven't traveled much,
Yeah.
and you just put them in Asia.
Well, also in
Put them in Asia
and you give them
with like,
Baijiu.
no strings attached. Like drink all the booze you want. There's no like the normal kind of societal framework that judges you and keeps you, like self-aware.
Bars
Yeah.
close at
is
2.
Gone.
Yeah,
Bars don't close
they don't
at 2
close.
anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people lose their shit.
It's like
in those
Vegas,
scenarios.
but every
Not
day.
me. Not me.
No, I didn't lose my
But,
shit.
you know,
but also
like to observe others.
apparently
I've never
gin.
motivated my boss.
He did.
Never did that. Never taught her to tango.
Apparently, Jin and Ian are
I
two.
would never accuse you of such a thing.
I would never do that. That doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, no. Oh, apparently, Jin and Ian in the video, two of our friends, they were just slapping each other. Just like slap, or just like okay, and then slap, and he would get hit, and then slap, and they're just like, and all this is
Baijiu
going
should
down.
not be able to be exported.
All this is
That's
going down
That is the moral of the story.
as we're
It's like
trying
the
to
opium
pay.
wars. You can't import it.
You guys would kill me. As we're trying to pay the bill, all this shit is going down.
At what point do we tell Gavin he's killing us?
Well, when I finish my story, you can.
Is
bust
there
and
is there a
kill.
conclusion?
That's the conclusion. The conclusion is all that was going down while we were trying to pay, and the server was like trying to get all of our money, and it's just
Poor
like, dude,
dude.
these fucking guys are, these people are
Poor
crazy.
She's like, "Where's your money?" She's like, "I threw you my wallet."
and it was like we're trying to split the
It's over
bill.
there,
and meanwhile,
asshole.
people are slapping people.
You should know. Come on, people who split the bill are assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like
And
6 of us.
With that same group of people, they taught us a game called credit card roulette.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
That shit's fucking
Credit
crazy.
card roulette.
I like it.
Have you ever played
Everybody
it?
put in a credit card in a hat, give it to the
Waiter.
the waiter, and the waiter just has to pick one
Yeah.
out of the hat.
And last, they just
Sucks
keep
for
pulling.
you.
They just keep pulling it until the last one. The last one
Yeah,
pays
the
for
last
everything.
card has to pay.
Oh, not
Yeah.
the first one?
No,
No,
it's
it's
more.
just- yeah,
so
like-
you like get a really
It's
draw
drama,
out.
it's
Yeah,
drama,
bad,
yeah.
dramatic.
I was with that. It was with the frisbee team, and I remember
Yeah.
it was like 30 people, and I went there, and I only had,
Oh, This is a big team thing. The rugby
Yeah.
team in Beijing does this shit.
I essentially only,
Can you pay for 30 people's worth of food? Like we're talking hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
yeah,
Fuck that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I got peer pressured into this shit
I would be like,
when I drank only
I
a
would
bottle
look
of
around the
Mockley.
table and be like, your friendship isn't worth it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like
Please.
yeah,
I got drawn
300
into the
bucks.
excitement of this once because it was just a new thing and it was exciting. But I was with a group of like 20 people, and I only drank a bottle of Mockley, which is about $3.
No.
And I was looking at having to spend about $300+.
So what did you do it?
No, my card
Luckily.
got pulled third from last.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
It was. I was sweating for a bit. I was
yeah,
sweating.
Yeah, luckily mine was.
Like, I
something like that.
knew.
Yeah, I was like,
knew.
I didn't even want to do this. I had only a bottle of Mockley.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta wrap it up, huh?
No, we can just go until the camera goes. But okay,
The camera's gonna go any second now.
nah, we'll just wait till it goes out.
Yeah.
But Tyler, so I told my Baijiu story.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got a Baijiu story. What is the most drunk / crazy ridiculousness that went down in China? You said your first 6 months you were just felt like you were on vacation, right?
Felt like I was on vacation a lot. Yeah.
You're like, am I off vacation?
I'm very interested about the angling of these mics. Why are they angled away from us?
No, it's right here. This is where you want. You want to talk.
What
You want to
about
talk into
this
it. Right
side?
No.
No.
You
No.
want. You want to talk.
You
into
talk into it like it's a square facing you.
It. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. You want to talk into it like
I
this.
see. This is not how Joe Rogan's mics are.
No,
No, his are different.
It's also not how my studio mics are placed, but
Theirs are different.
it's okay to be different.
He actually,
It's okay to be different.
Tyler
I mean,
is a professional recorder, so
Yeah, I didn't know that you were.
semi-professional. So
I didn't know you were in the
it is-
scene.
It is what's making me my living right now, which is cool. I wouldn't be able to do my web development stuff if I didn't have my recording on the side. But yeah, we can talk about that later. China, man. I don't know where to start, dude.
Is there any
I have to
one-
prepare some ideas.
for me, when it comes down to telling stories, there's usually a couple stories I just happen to have told a few times. You know what I mean? Like there's a couple stories that just stick out that I
I
happen to have
usually
told
brush
a few
most
times.
of my shit under the rug.
Really?
Try to forget
yeah,
them.
it's like, it was fun. There was a time and the place for that shit. It ain't now.
Have you ever drank
Fist
with
fight.
Have you ever drank with your employers? Have you ever gotten into a fist fight?
I know you've gotten into a fist fight.
Guys, I don't fight. I'm very, like.
You kind of told me off
Asian
camera you got into a fight.
studies, very Asian studies. I'm into meditation.
Confucianism.
Very
yeah.
into, awareness.
I could tell a couple stories about you in fights.
But not in China. So
I
China.
could tell about almost getting in fights. I could tell about just you as like hanging out with you in college situations, like walking down the street, trying to go to frat parties.
in Culver City. And
Yeah, I could tell so many fucking stories about Tyler.
But what about
Good
Tyler?
stories, good
What about
stories.
Tyler in China?
Yeah.
This is interesting.
China,
because
Tyler.
I don't think any of these things are true.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the homeless lady.
Yeah, the
Yes.
homeless lady.
I don't think I've had enough whiskey to really tell this story. So, we are. Shout out to the Beijing homies.
The
Brecht
Beijing homies.
in particular. Brecht is the motherfucking homie. It's my buddy from Belgium.
It's a good name.
And we are brothers. Let's go ahead and fill up, boys. We need some ice, no?
Nah, just
Just dive into it.
All right, dive into it.
Oh, Jesus. I got a lot.
it's Guanchanayo.
It's
what
good
she said.
fucking whiskey.
So, right. So, fake liquor is a thing in China. It's a big thing.
Fake liquor.
So, if you like, you're like, you go to like some street vendors, something like that. That's another thing that's very interesting. Is there are street vendors that make cocktails for you, and that's quite dangerous because like they can be there one day and not be there the next day, or whatever.
Can't sue 'em.
But there was Billy Mojitos, which is really awesome. But like 2 mojitos and like people are blacked out, like stupid retarded, and so like shit would go down.
They're using Baijiu
Because like
instead of rum.
Billy's using like a fucking cleaning solution in your mojito, right? Who knows? It's something that his cousin Xiaoming brewed in his bathtub.
Xiaoming's a sketchy motherfucker.
I don't know,
fucking
but
Ming.
Xiaoming is shady.
Yeah.
And,
Shady Xiaoming.
Shady Xiaoming. So anyway, this was like a little, people would kind of pregame and just kind of shoot the shit at this table that was directly next to the street. And so you would always have beggars coming through here. And I had definitely a few beverages, but the night was still relatively young. I wasn't drunk yet, but I was on my way. And all of a sudden, next to me, I hear like a whap! And I'm like, what the fuck? There's like a loud pop next to my ear. And I look, and my friend is like, what the fuck? And I see that my friend had just refused this bum in like a rather kind of pompous way. Which is like, get the fuck away from me. Like, get off me, fuck off.
Uh-huh.
And the lady took her wooden bowl and cracked him on the head with it.
Well,
She
damn.
just went like whap,
Hit
and I
him
don't
in
know
the
where
head.
it came from, but
Assault.
I popped up, and I just probably shouldn't have done
It's
this.
go time.
But
It's go time.
I just didn't think, and I popped up, and I grabbed. I said, I popped up. I popped up out of my chair, and she was already walking away. And I said something in Chinese. I said like, I don't know, like, 我给你钱吧, which is basically like, oh, I'll give you some money. And she put the bowl out. She extended the bowl to me. I took the bowl and threw it to the wind. I took the bowl and threw it to the wind. And I'm like, 你别打人了. 你别打人了. Like, don't hit people. And I turned around and I walked back to the seat. And when I walked back to the seat, there was a guy sitting at our table who was a Chinese guy. And he was like a friend of a friend. And he decided that I was a fucking dick. And I was going to get what was coming to me. And
How rude are you?
he
That's
stood
not
up.
that rude to me.
I mean, I took the bowl
After
and
she
I
hit
threw it.
somebody in
I don't
the
know,
head.
but I don't know. But like,
He didn't
it's not my
curse her.
country. The one thing
Yeah.
you have to know about China is like, you're a guest. You have no right to really do anything besides like live there, live your life. Do not interfere in anything. You don't belong here.
They should
Like,
hit you. They can hit you. It's okay.
I don't know. Like, you cannot. There's no place for you to get involved in like any negative way or any active way in like Chinese affairs. You like I don't know. It's mainly a negative way. Like you want to avoid conflict at all costs.
Yeah.
There's not like a law. There's no law in China the way we view law. Right. There's no body. There's no like body to enforce every single law. The
Yeah.
way there is in the States. Like law is taken very seriously in China, whereas the law is taken incredibly seriously in the United States, almost too much, where you get officers that are like, I am the law.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck you up over like jaywalking.
Yeah.
Whereas like the opposite side of the coin is like, which would be China, which is like, we don't have enough resources to enforce all the law. 1.6 billion people. We're a developing country. Like, we enforce the most important laws and we let the rest of them slide.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why the roads are like kind of a mess. I'm not being critical here, but come on. There's a way to go. But
Yeah.
China can't see this shit's on YouTube.
Anyway, homeboy at the table. VPNs are illegal now.
Yeah.
VPNs are illegal?
VPNs are there's a lot of hoorah right now over
The
government
punishable
taking-
by caning
the
publicly.
government taking additional actions against VPN. Yeah,
Fuck
it's
that
becoming a big
shit.
thing. The expats in China are talking about it a lot right now. But anyway, so homeboy at the table who is like, likes to hang out in the expat crowd, grew up, spent some time in Europe, whatever, decides to come over and tell me what's up, and he's clearly had his share to drink.
Yeah,
And
of course.
he starts yelling at me. We get into a verbal confrontation. And next thing I know, it's like, fuck you, whatever, fuck off, blah, 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 whatever. And I saw you looking at the mic. He pushes me.
Do something.
He pushes me. You gotta help. You gotta
Okay.
help your brother.
Okay.
Help your brother
I don't
so we
wanna
can
be
improve the quality of our fucking broadcast here.
Okay.
So he pushes me, and I find my back against a tree.
Rough.
Yeah.
I find my back against a tree, and I'm like, all right. And the guy's not like a super big dude. I didn't feel like super threatened, but my back was against a tree, and he pushed me, and now he's here. And I can feel his breath on my face, and my blood pressure is starting to rise.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm getting to a point where, like, I'm just about to lose my fucking shit. I'm about to just fucking snap and go nuts, which happens
Yeah.
from... I try to make it happen.
He's
less
in
and
your
less.
bubble. Your
But
back's
he's
against
in
the
my
wall.
bubble. Yeah. And now I'm just like, what the fuck? And he's right here. And I said, dude... And I kind of gave him this ultimatum, like I felt so, like a badass. But I knew I was going to fuck him up. And I said, walk away or you're asking for a world of fucking trouble. And he just, you fucking twat, I don't give a fuck. Bleh, just fucking in my face more. Get that
Uppercut.
That made him, it just egged him on to get
Como
crazier.
se dice.
So he got more aggressive when I gave him this ultimatum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his face was right here. And I was just like, what are foreheads for? Bang! And just fucking boom right into his nose.
Yeah.
So he steps back. He kind of steps back like surprised, and then he starts swinging on me. So it's like boom, boom, get a couple shots, but I'm okay. And the second we square up, I see homeboy's right foot going back. Left hook, motherfucker. Boom! Right in the chin. Out. Done. Hits the ground. Done. And I was like ready to jump, and I was like, it's done. Walked away.
Whoa.
My friends were like, what the fuck? Because they knew both of us, right?
Yeah.
They knew both of us. Like, what the fuck, you guys? And he got up and he's like, I shouldn't have done that. Let me buy you a drink.
After you
Good
dropped
guy.
him?
Yeah, he got
Damn,
up and he was just like,
Jesus.
why did I do that? He was like questioning the situation pretty quickly, and like in a pretty coherent way. And like he bought me a drink. We sat down, and then it was cool. But at 5 years, that was the only incident I had.
Well,
Nice,
that's
nice.
That was
great.
the only incident I had. I was really proud of that left hook because I hadn't done any really active training in a long time. I'm always
Yeah.
lifting. I'm always hitting the bag. But even hitting the bag
It's different.
works.
Yeah.
No, but it's still it showed that it was worthy of something.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're it's a round object
Yeah.
and you got to catch it in the right way to really implement your power into the bag.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's enough. It's clearly enough because
Yeah.
I was buzzed.
Yeah.
And I took like a leap forward and threw a hook from my waist and it just landed right on the button.
Dude, I
Dude,
miss hitting
yeah.
a bag. I haven't
I
hit
hit the
it.
bag. I do about at least 15 minutes before every workout.
Damn, I'm so jelly.
I haven't hit a bag in 3.5 years. Ever since I came to Korea.
It's amazing. For me, it is.
We hit pads. I got pads here. You hit some.
Yeah,
of those.
that's
and
it.
pads are
That's
pads
all
are
I've
really
done.
good for technique. I think.
Yeah.
Pads
Accuracy,
are super good for technique.
footwork.
The bag is good for like a workout. I think.
Yeah.
Dude, the bag is
it
the
warms
shit.
me up real well. It gives me a really good excuse to stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throwing side kicks, warming up your legs and your hips before you start throwing kicks,
Yeah.
warming up your knees. I think it's great.
The
It's
bag
helped
is
my
my
weightlifting a lot.
Dude, I fucking love the bag and I miss it so much. The only thing, because there's a lot of good gyms here in Korea, but if you want to find a punching bag, you got to go to like only a Taekwondo studio or some other martial arts studio.
Kickboxing or something, yeah.
But they're not going to, like in America, like 1 out of every, I don't know, 5 gyms might have a punching bag, like
Yeah.
one, and it might not see that much usage, but it'll still be there for guys like us. But here in Korea, you'll almost never find one.
Unless you go
to Taekwondo studio.
It's very like in Korea. It's very like if you want chicken, you go to the chicken restaurant. You want burgers, you go to the burger restaurant. And if you want to work out, you go to the gym and you lift weights. If you want to train like Muay Thai, you go to the Muay Thai gym.
Yeah.
If you want,
But
it's like
people that lift weights
Yeah.
don't like to throw punches
I don't know. It's
in a technical way.
Dude, by the way, so like you got us in a major way into weightlifting because before
you
that,
did.
Gavin and I only did martial arts. Yeah. We only did martial
and
arts,
body weight exercise.
body weight exercises.
Yeah.
So we got into weightlifting in part. We did a little bit before we met you, but like you were the first homie that we could go lift with. But you were a homie that would also hit the bag with us and stuff like that,
and
so-
watch UFC. Which honestly,
Love UFC.
back like when we were watching UFC, like
It wasn't a big thing.
It wasn't a big thing, and even after you went to UCLA and I went to UC Irvine, I tried watching UFC with like my fraternity brothers, and like they were like, okay, like what is this sport? Like
There are dudes humping each other,
Like,
bro.
I was
This is
hugging.
this is
Yeah.
for gays.
like I was having
Hey,
to
man.
explain to them,
Hey, man.
dude. One of the
That sounds
funniest thing-
homophobic.
One of the
Yeah, that's
funniest
homophobic. You're in the UC system. Do you know what I can do to you right now?
One of the funniest things was this one guy. I won't say his name, but he's short, but he was really built. He was really strong, like
Matt
way
Serra.
strong. No, not he's a fighter. He's not the guy in my fraternity
Or Matt Hughes.
or Matt Hughes. But anyway, this guy,
The Mats.
Matt
he-
Serra's a better
I knew a
player.
lot of short Mats.
Sean
Yeah.
Shirk.
Sean Shirk.
Sean Shirk.
Sean Shirk.
Throwback.
Just
Sean the Shark Shirk.
muscle.
Having problems in life? Stick a needle in your fucking neck.
my neck doesn't move.
Shark Shirk.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
right.
god.
But
Amazing.
Who needs neck movement?
Who needs neck? Yeah. But anyway, like this guy, I remember it was so weird because I remember I was like, guys, Anderson Silva's fighting. It's gonna be a big UFC. Let's watch it. Like all the brothers, let's like fucking watch UFC.
Fight Night Shanghai, November 25th, baby.
Yeah, you think all these guys would be down, but I was like, guys, let's all watch the UFC fight, and it's just like fucking crickets. I'm like, does no one watch UFC? And then my big bro, he's just like, yo, yeah, I'm down, Gavin, but only because like he's just like, you're my little bro, and like I should support you and your ideas. But like
It's in the constitution of our fraternity.
Yeah,
that
like-
thou must support thy little bro.
yeah, like
Yeah.
he
We're a
himself-
family.
He himself, he's just like, yeah, dude, if we can drink, then I'm down. Like he's just like, I just am looking.
It's an
for
event to
any
drink.
excuse to drink, right?
I fucking love his big bro.
Yeah, my big
John
bro's
Jones,
awesome.
dude.
John
My
Jones
big
is
bros
awesome.
and my little bros have all in my fraternity. We're all like they put me with him, and it never really worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But him and his big bro,
We
it
worked
was
out.
It
like
sounds like he had a great fraternity. I mean, he's super into his
yeah,
fraternity.
yeah.
I
I was super in my fraternity also, but it wasn't like the family system worked out. And it wasn't like the whole cohesive fraternity worked out. It was a great opportunity, and I had made some really close friends.
Yeah.
But like, especially the big
I
bro,
was a
little
terrible
bro.
fit for my fraternity, but we all know that.
Yeah,
But
but
the big bro, little bro, John fucking Jones,
yeah,
fucking
John Jones is great. Yeah,
No, who's your big bro? It's not John Jones.
I'm sorry, Andrew Jones.
Andrew Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's
Andrew
saying John
Jones.
Jones. I'm like,
John
I'm sorry.
Jones, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Andrew Jones.
John
Yeah.
Jones' legacy right now is
Yeah.
under serious scrutiny.
Yeah, as it should be.
Gentlemen, as
But
it should be.
His big bro, Andrew Jones, even though I'm not his Andrew Jones' little bro, he was just as much of a homie to me as any fucking other guy ever.
gotta be that.
Gavin's big bro, Andrew Jones,
You want
is a
this?
fucking dope
It's
motherfucker.
pretty much, I should stop smoking.
So
Or just
big
take
call,
take the
big
band
call
off.
out to fucking Andrew Jones. You're the shit.
Anyway,
Andrew Jones, props. Maybe we'll meet someday.
I hope so, dude. You'd fucking love
yeah.
him.
What was it? So this fight night, I get like 5 dudes to show up, and only because like 4 of them lived at the house that it was fucking being played at. right? And none of them want to pitch in. I'm like, okay, whatever. Me and I guess Jones will just fucking pay for it. Anyway,
I don't miss cheap college friends.
right,
At all.
cheap as fuck. So we're
So
watching.
glad people make money now.
We're watching this, and I'm having to explain to these people the rules. And I remember Roy Nelson fought Czech Congo, and Czech Congo is a
Fuck, what a
buff.
brawl.
Well, Czech Congo's a buff motherfucker.
Roy Nelson won, huh?
Absolutely, and like easiest fucking win ever.
I just saw Roy Nelson. I reviewed the clip of Roy Nelson KOing Brandon Shaw.
Oh yeah. It's
I
right
was like,
overhand.
woo,
Boom. Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, dude,
damn.
he won the Ultimate Fighter on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I told everybody, I was like, okay, Czech Congo is a beast, and he works out at the gym in Irvine, and apparently the
Really?
Irvine, yeah, because one of my coworkers at the Cheesecake Factory worked out at the gym that Czech Congo also worked out at, and they said that they had to buy a specific 600-pound heavy bag specifically for Czech Congo to work out with, because Czech Congo hits so hard, and he's such a big dude. So I'm telling these guys, I'm like,
600 pounds.
600-pound heavy bag.
What the
specifically
fuck?
for Czech Congo.
What's
It's-
a normal heavy bag? 300?
I have no idea, but
400?
Not even close, dude.
Anyway.
100.
maybe 100.
100. Muay Thai bags
Maybe
maybe
it
were
was-
75.
I could-
The heavy bag.
A long,
I could be
skinny,
exaggerating. Maybe it was 300.
Heavy fucking Muay Thai bag would be 75 pounds.
I
don't
could
know-
be
I don't
exaggerating.
know
Maybe
the
it was
pounds.
300 pounds. I don't know. It
I would
was a long
say
time ago.
300. 600 is fucking absurd. That's like an elephant's leg or some shit. I don't even know. That's 600. 300.
I could fuck
I
up
could-
an elephant's
I could
leg.
be wrong.
I know that like solid Muay Thai bags are like 75.
I'll
A
fuck
heavy
up an
a
elephant's
heavy
leg,
bag I would think would be 100.
I can't remember.
I would assume. I mean, you're not
But-
picking it up. So what
Yeah.
if you're hitting
Yeah.
it needs to provide some good resistance, right?
But basically, they had to buy a heavy bag specifically for him because he hit so hard and he wanted to train with a heavy bag. Anyway, so I'm trying to tell them, like, yo, Czech Congo is a bad motherfucker when it comes to he get hit hard. And so everybody in the whole room is like, oh shit, Czech Congo is going to destroy. And then Roy Nelson comes out second. And I was like, oh, I didn't know he's fighting Roy Nelson. Oh, Roy Nelson's going to win in a second. And then all my fraternity bros were like, what are you talking about? Because this big fat fucker comes out.
Yeah, well, Roy Nelson, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he destroyed.
Yeah.
He's the only. Who the fuck else has been super fat in the UFC? that's
no
been
one.
Able
No one.
to do that well. I mean,
Oh, Mark Hunt. But I mean, Roy
Mark
Nelson's...
Hunt is not as fat as fucking Roy
Roy-
Nelson.
nah,
dude.
Roy Nelson,
Nelson's
yeah.
carrying a keg.
I agree.
Roy Nelson's
Close,
carrying,
but not
nah,
quite.
dude, not that close.
Mark Hunt's only 5'10".
No, I get... No, what I'm... Garrett,
Nah, but
Garrett,
he
you're
doesn't
not on
have
mic.
the keg in his gut. The way
Garrett's
that Roy
not on
Nelson
mic,
is.
so you can't hear him. Basically, Mark Hunt, yeah, he's a bit overweight, but he wears it all over, or
Yeah.
Roy's got it all
He's
in his
pudgy
gut.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the story is like everybody in my fraternity is like, "What the fuck? This fat sloppy dude's gonna win." I was like, "Oh yeah, hands down." Because Czech Congo, he can hit hard, but he's not that good compared to Roy
Yeah.
Nelson, who's really good.
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, overhand right fucking drops Czech Congo. Czech Congo tries to get back to his feet, and then uppercut drops him again, and the fight's over. And everyone's just like, "What? Like, how the fuck did Gavin know that was gonna happen?" I was like, "Because this is fighting." and this is like his technique,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And then, sure enough, the main event was Anderson Silva against who's the guy that fought
Forrest Griffin.
Forrest Griffin, not Forrest Griffin, the other guy, who fought Forrest Griffin. No.
He lost to Forrest Griffin in the finale
Yeah,
of the Ultimate Fighter.
the Ultimate
fucking
Fighter.
won.
What's his name?
Stephen Bonner.
Stephen
Yeah,
Bonner.
Stephen Bonner,
Stephen
good man.
Bonner. Stephen Bonner fought Anderson Silva for the main event, and Anderson Silva. This is when Anderson Silva was at the height of the height. This is right before he lost his title to
Yeah.
God, I'm drawing a blank. This is right before he lost. There goes the camera.
He lost to Weidman.
He lost to Weidman. There you go. So he's standing against the fence, and
This
he's
can't be right before.
no. This is like the fight before that.
Yeah, this is really
This is right
before he got
This is
dethroned.
one
Anderson
fight.
Silva versus Stephen.
Well, he
Bonner?
was
Yeah.
fighting Stephen Bonner.
Just because it ran out of opponents.
Yeah, because he wiped out the 85 division. And he was
Yeah.
fighting Stephen Bonner at 205.
At 205,
because he
yeah.
had almost no
And he just
opponents.
fucking
Yeah,
murked him.
but dude, he had his back against the fence, and his
He
hands
put
down.
his back against.
Yeah,
the
on
fence.
purpose, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Hit me," and Stephen Bonner's like,
And he's just
throwing
dodging.
spinning back kicks, and he just dodge,
Roll,
and then
roll.
and then he threw something. Stephen Bonner put his back against the fence, and then as Stephen Bonner was bouncing off the fence, Anderson Silva timed a perfect flying knee right to his solar plexus.
Damn.
Dropped him in a second. Okay, my fraternity bros didn't know what the fuck a solar plex was. So
I have one of those.
So they're like, what happened? I was like, he hit him in the solar plexus with a flying knee and fucking dropped him. And they're just like, what?
It's crazy how alien it is. Because,
Yeah.
because people really do like Joe. I remember Joe Rogan was just like, oh, it's arrogance. It's arrogance. But like Joe Rogan has grown up with martial arts. And a lot of people haven't grown up with martial arts at all.
Yeah.
And there is a bit of anatomy you have to learn if you're studying martial arts.
Yeah.
You need to be able to fucking annihilate someone, and you need to know,
You know
what their
where
anatomy
to.
is
You
capable
need to
of
where
and
to
what it isn't
attack.
capable of.
Yeah.
Where are human beings weak, right?
Attacking fucking punching them in the elbow is not going to work.
Yeah, but
Right.
but basically,
But people don't know where to start, and it's like
Yeah.
it's like if you watch, any of us that watch a new sport, we can't appreciate it. We don't really know the complexity of what's going on, and MMA is exactly the same. And I think it is probably the most I want to say stark example of it right now, where you're watching a sport, and so many people dismiss it as like.
It's just barbarism.
It's dudes. It's barbaric, or it's
cockfighting,
or it's gay.
Yeah.
It seems that's what people say.
Yeah.
It's barbaric, or
Bunch of dudes sweating on
gay.
each other. It's gay.
Yeah, they're rolling around like if you like each other so much, why don't you just do the deed? Why do you have to fight? It's so misconstrued.
That's how our friend Adam is. I love the guy, but go ahead, Gavin.
But yeah. Okay, so let's wrap this up since the camera died. But basically, what I thought was funny was everybody was like, "Why the fuck did the fat guy win? That's weird." And then B, they were like, "What happened at the end? Why is it over? Why did the guy just curl up into a baby fetal position and then just lose?" I'm like, because he couldn't breathe. He got a knee to his solar plexus. And then like, what is the solar plexus? And I was like, okay, solar plexus is right above your stomach.
Let me show you.
Yeah.
Hiya!
I was like, okay, I had to explain that. And then not only that, even before the main event, there was another guy who came out, and then I remember one of the dudes who's with me. He's like, that guy's not even that big. He's like, not even that big. And I remember the guy who said that, he was like 5'6", but he was really, really buff. But the guy he was saying like he's not even that big. The guy he was saying that about, the fighter,
Complex.
the fighter was 6'4". Right, I was like, okay, that guy's 6'4" and he's 200 pounds.
He's
like
a foot on you.
Yeah, and I was like, not only that, but like you don't like he didn't understand that like this is fighting for potentially 25 minutes, and whereas opposed to bodybuilding is you just train and then you pose on stage.
Right.
But he was just like
or powerlifting. Where you just exert yourself for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, like
that.
this fraternity guy.
Power, 1 second
And done. Yeah.
hold
Which
it,
is still impressive and still
It's
awesome
an crazy
in its own
strength
way.
and second
Still
at a
super
time.
fun sport, but yeah.
But totally
Strength
different.
1 second at a time. Yeah.
But yeah, this guy was like, that guy's not even that big. And I was like, and I remember I was like about to be like, are you fucking serious? Like, you're fucking 5'6", and that guy's 6'4", and he would like, and I basically was like,
Tone it down.
I took
Tone
a
it
breath.
down.
I took a breath, and I was like, okay, listen.
He's your bro.
I was like,
He's your bro.
yeah, I was like, listen, they're fighters. They're not fucking bodybuilders. And I had to like explain to him the difference. And he was, and I remember he had this look on his face. He's like, huh.
You're like, I
And
hate to break to
he
you,
had
bro,
this,
but
like,
I will
weird-
fuck you up.
he had
That's
the-
the context of this
He
conversation.
had this weird look on his face. Like he was just like, so you're telling me I couldn't fuck that guy up? Because like, I think I'm bigger than that guy, and I think I could probably fuck him up. And I'm like, no. like
Yeah.
no.
My fraternity, we didn't
Yeah.
have boxing.
Get an A+ for optimism. buddy.
Yeah. I mean,
My fraternity, we never had.
confidence goes a long way, but
My frat, we never had a boxing matches like your fraternity had, but we did have orchestrated
dope, by the way.
That was
a
great.
lot by me. I was like, okay, we're gonna do tap out wrestling, like no strikes but tap out, like submission win wrestling.
It's basically like a jiu-jitsu match.
It's like catch wrestling, jiu-jitsu.
Mm.
And you know who won every time? The fucking guy that knew something.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like it was, and what I did to, and I came up with this when I was the pledge educator. I was just like, all right, because we had like a very physical, like team versus team brawl kind of wrestling match, but it just destroyed our own house. It just destroyed everything. And I was just like, I was like, look, we need to do less damage to our house because no one's repairing it. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, so how about we do one-on-one wrestling, tap out wrestling, but because the pledges, they're not going to want to like elect, like say we match a fucking way bigger dude against you. They're not going to want to, it's like they're going to feel really salty about like just getting thrown to the ground hard by some guy who's bigger than them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I was like, so what we're going to do is there's going to be more actives in the room, obviously, because there's more of us than there are them. And they get to do the matchups. The pledges get to do the matchups. It's like you each have to fucking catch wrestle one of our guys, and you guys can pick who. And it's like you could put your biggest guy against our smallest guy, but it's at the end, it's whichever team has the most wins wins. So what? And it was it worked well because then they naturally just like, okay, I think I match up against him. Yeah, I think I match up against him. You match up against him. And I remember being like, I gave him that ultimatum, and I prefaced the whole thing by saying like, who's the biggest, baddest motherfucker on the planet right now? And then people are just like, the dumb fucking pledges. They're so stupid. They're just like, Bruce Lee. I'm like, Bruce Lee's fucking dead. I'm like, you fucking idiot. I'm talking about right now. Bruce Lee's fucking dead. Like they're like, I don't know, fucking Steven Seagal. I'm like, Steven Seagal's fat as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Although apparently he's teaching Anderson Silva some moves. Yeah. He was apparently an inspiration to the front straight, the front kick to the fucking face.
Yeah. But I had to give this speech. I'm just like, Cain Velasquez is the baddest motherfucker on the planet because he's the heavyweight champion of the world. There's no other person on the planet right now that could beat him in a one-on-one fight.
So much respect, Cain Velasquez.
Yeah. And I'm just like, and then I gave that speech, and they're just like, okay, fuck, we're so stupid. Yeah, we're so stupid. And then
what is a Cain Velasquez?
So eventually they realized, like, okay, they do martial arts. And then I was like, okay, pick your matchups. And then I was just like, okay, I want one of you. There's like, essentially, I'm smaller than almost all of them, and I want them to match me up against someone who's way bigger than me, just so I could show them. Like, because this point I've been trying to explain to them.
You were very confident.
I was just like, I will choke out any one of you fuckers. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, and most of you are way bigger than me. And then, sure enough, the only guy in the fraternity or of the pledges that called me out was a Marine.
Yeah.
But he was my size. I was like, motherfucker, I wanted somebody who had at least 20 pounds on
My plan has been thwarted.
Yeah, but the Marine comes out, and he's a fucking trained fighter, a trained fucking fighter. Comes out at me, and I gotta say, his he gave it his all. That's what I appreciated about him. I was like, all right, you're fucking a Marine, and you don't really know what you're doing, but you have the fighter's instinct. Like, he gave it 110%. Like, I didn't beat him until he was completely defeated. Like, you know what I mean?
He was just wiped. He was gassed.
Like, yeah, I essentially, I wanted a quick victory because he was my size. I was like, I wanted a fucking quick victory, so I was trying to muscle my way through it. And he was putting up 110% resistance. And eventually, I was just like, fuck, I'm going to have to just wait till he gasses.
Yeah.
And eventually, I waited till he gassed, and I caught him in an armbar after throwing him to the...
You caught him in the arm?
I caught him with an arm bar. Yeah,
was he smart enough to tap?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, he tapped, but also
an arm bar. If it's your first time getting caught in an arm bar, like, you don't realize there's pain until there's like serious fucking pain.
Other people pulled me off him too. But it was kind of fucked up because I threw him to the ground really fucking hard, and we're just playing on a open hardwood floor, and I threw him to the ground really hard, landed in side control. Got in the mount, and then, dude, he's so fucking scrappy and sprawling and scrambling so hard. He reversed the position, and then I had him in my guard, but
That's where a little bit of fight knowledge comes into play. Like, he has no idea, like, you just isolated my arm, right?
Yeah, but then he was so scrappy, he switched the position. I got him in the guard, and then I switched back into the mount. I scissor switched him, and I'm in the mount, and I'm working to the armbar, and they stop it. I'm like, why'd you guys stop it? And they're like, oh, I thought, like, I literally have no idea why they stopped it, but they stood us back up. Then I had to throw him to the ground again. Threw his ass to the ground so fucking hard. We're talking like full shoulder weight
or like you're breaking
into
bones
his ribs. I could have easily broke his ribs. I didn't, but I'm telling you, I hit him fucking I double, then fucking hip through, caught his leg, and then we both just went to the ground hard with my shoulder into his ribs. And
I think
then
we should probably call the podcast. Yeah.
yeah, we'll call after this. Essentially, then I just work to the mount, and he's holding me super tight, and I just have to wait till he gasses and his arms gas, and then I catch him in armbar. But I was pissed off that I had to go against somebody my weight. But I was happy that I at least went against a Marine who had some real fighter instinct. Because you see these guys that have no fighter instinct. They're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Well, he had probably, he had at least some wrestling experience with guys that didn't know shit.
Yeah.
So he had at least had some an introductory course.
Yeah.
I know, Jocko talks about that, about being in the Marines and thinking he knew everything because he could defeat, because he could fuck up all the other Marines. And then he realized his introduction to jiu-jitsu was garbage.
Yeah.
Not garbage. I shouldn't say that's again another
Against other
oversimplification.
fucking,
It was
like,
just an
yellow
introduction.
belts.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Jiu-jitsu. It's like you've been introduced to the concepts.
Yeah, yeah. And so, but I had a great time. We'll wrap it up. Point is,
Let's do this again later this weekend. Let's do another one.
if you want, yeah,
Why
fucking,
not?
I would love to,
I mean,
man.
it was
If
super-
we have
it
enough
was-
time,
it
yeah.
was- this is not hard work. I don't.
We
think.
got so many fucking. I got so many more questions. I want to talk about fucking your perspective on the China North Korea thing.
We can do a little politics.
I want to hear some more about fucking China.
We can talk about, I would like to talk about China. I gotta be careful when I talk about China because
They're not gonna hear shit.
we'll get to this. No. I think that what I say when I gotta be careful when I talk about China is China's a big place.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different kinds of people in China.
Mm-hmm.
And B, also, it is. I think that no matter what, at some point, my future will have to do with China.
Yeah.
And China is very, very sensitive about
Any criticism.
about any criticism whatsoever.
Yeah,
and
communism.
it's very unfortunate.
Communism.
Communism, and it's but they have a very Chinese have a very sensitive psyche right now, and I don't know if it just takes a little bit of acknowledgement in the world to be like, hey, China's awesome, China's doing really well, like it's okay to take some criticism, but they're really in an interesting dichotomy where and it's really a contradiction where China wants to be a leader in the world, but like leaders get criticized. But anyway,
Correct.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that next time.
We will get to that next time. I fucking hope to do a lot more podcasts with this guy, and I hope to see you as much as possible. So, Tyler fucking Hervey, Sticks and Stories, had a great time. We're out.
Peace.